Oh, now it's not a cold open because everyone heard you say go live.
It's still cold open because you said about me saying going live after I hit the live button, but I think before you thought I hit the live button, so it still counts.
Oh, Jesus Christ, we're playing semantics. Okay.
Semantical arguments are best arguments.
Oh, greetings, everyone. We are live, indeed. 23 seconds. Okay. Hi, everyone. Platoon's still sick, so
Yay.
So I'll do the rundowns of everyone that is here because, this is BSUP episode 43. We have made it. The only reason that we missed last week was because of the fact that Platoon was sick. It was not my fault this time, so that's nice to know.
Yeah, it makes a change. I was getting better, and then it was my birthday over the weekend, and so I had to see family, and one of them was sick. And so I've either recaught what I had last week, or I've caught something brand new, which I can enjoy this week. But it's great. It's great fun.
Oh, and how old are you now, Platoon? I didn't know cartoons age.
I don't age, but we sort of just do it ceremonially because everyone else has a birthday, and it would seem
your creation date
left out. The creation date of the little Platoon is I think I'm 2 years old now. So
excellent. Well, everyone, I am movie cynic and co-host Little Platoon, and our producer Dark Hour, who likes to hang out because
I just chill around here.
Yes, sir.
I'm usually first in the back room. So
yes, you are, aren't you? And Reaper making his return to BSUP. How's it going, dude?
Yeah, it's all right. Yeah. Not too bad.
I know I made you watch Megalopolis, so I do apologize about that.
Oh my god!
I'm gonna make everybody pay with the slide that I made. Everyone.
God, did you pick a banger?
You'll see.
I can't wait to see it. Yeah, thanks for hopping on the stream, Reaper. Appreciate you, man.
No problem. I was gonna sleep, motherfucker.
Fuck sleep. Grab a coffee. Let's go. And Despot of Antrim, I have streamed with you before, sir. But first time on BSUP, I believe. Welcome.
Thanks very much for having me on.
Yeah, no, and you're up early or up really late, one or the other. So I don't remember which is which, but I do appreciate that you're on the stream in spite of it all.
Yeah, it's all right. Don't worry about it.
All right.
He did prove to be one of the harder guests to book because apparently I'm not as good at telling people times as I thought I was.
He's not geographically inclined, so he doesn't keep.
That's it.
What time is it over in your part of the world?
It is 5:17 a.m.
Jesus, I only see that if I'm still awake.
Where are you?
Wow, I couldn't do that. My days of being awake that long are long gone.
I was unaware that 5:17 a.m. actually existed. I was pretty certain that was a myth.
Yikes! 5:17 a.m. Oh my God, I don't remember the last time I saw that. Probably in my early 20s, my drinking days.
Fucking yeah, I mean that's all right. I'm not working today, so I'm just gonna go back to bed when I'm after the stream. So no big deal. Plus, I'm used to it. I get up at this time for drinker stream and the odd other stream, so it's no big deal.
Yeah, and I know I congratulated you backstage, but I want to do it on stream too. Congrats on big 100K, man. It's a huge accomplishment.
Yeah, thanks very much. I appreciate it.
Yeah, absolutely. We are keeping it. I don't know if anyone's picked up on it. We're trying to keep it to like just a few guests at a time here now. Get it nice and condensed. And also, what is the first thing that's on the docket, Dark Hour, for today? Probably something spectacular, right? We're going to talk about.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, I knew it. It's something great. We're going to talk
I actually have two slides. I couldn't decide between them, so I just kind of went with both. Whichever one you guys prefer. The armor looks terrible in both of these. So
the other one looks more offensive. So whichever.
Well, this one's got a lot of diversity in it right here.
That's true.
Is that a shot from the actual episode?
I have no idea
because it looks like it does look behind the scenes. It's their expression first of all, but I don't recall seeing that. I mean, I wasn't paying close attention.
This is an interview. They're both being interviewed behind the scenes.
Okay.
Oh, it's probably bad that it's not immediately obvious. Like it could have been one or the other because that's how Rings of Power is filmed. It looks like an interview section. It's a cutaway in Parks and Rec or The Office when they go and interview the people in like full costume. It's just, I mean, it looks about as shit as the rest of it. So
Yeah, and also notice there's a guy in jeans behind them, but I don't think the directors noticed. Like, the editing in this episode was that fucking bad. It wouldn't surprise me if a guy in jeans just showed up in the background.
What's funny is when the river goes, an entire wall that wasn't there just appears. There is no wall on the riverbed around a Region. Has anyone seen it?
I haven't. I've only watched coverage of the episode because I've been dealing.
I'll try and get a picture, but in season 1, there is no wall around the riverbed, and in this one, there's an entire wall.
That's the least of this show's problem. I mean, you could at least say, "Oh well, maybe they built the wall," but I mean, that's the least of this show's this episode's problems. This episode's all over the place. I mean, the mountain deciding, you know what, I am gonna just collapse because a small rock hit me. That's ridiculous.
Yeah, that's not how mountains work.
No, it's not. It's not how gravity works. It's man, it's so lazy.
How do you even know about that rock?
What rock?
That tiny rock that held up the entire mountain.
I know, but here's the thing. So, I mean, what they do is they have a trebuchet, and they turn their trebuchets on the mountain with the goal of collapsing as much of it as they can into the river, thus creating a dam. But that's not how mountains work, and it's not how rocks work, and it's not how trebuchets work.
It's also not how dams work. The water,
no, it's not how
the water is just going to now build up behind the rocks and then flow over the rocks.
They hit three shots from the trebuchet, and that was enough. They were able to collapse enough one volley, and that was enough material to block the entire river. And that's just insulting to the intelligence of the viewer. Because
plan. Sorry,
go ahead. No, go ahead.
I was saying the plan is stupid because once you've dried up the river, the entire riverbed is going to be the swampy, horrible thing that you just sink into, and then they're trying to move heavy equipment over the river. Absolutely stupid. Would never work.
Yeah, I mean, is it a moat? You've got a kind of artificial moat around a region, but like you said, if you stop the river, now you've got a kind of swampland to go through. You wouldn't be able to get your soldiers through it, and everything. So much was wrong with this episode. I mean, the trebuchet taking down the mountain was one, because if the mountain was so weak that rock was able to come off it because of it was hit by a trebuchet, gravity would have collapsed it to its natural state a long time ago. So that was ridiculous. And even if they did fall, the water would just flow over it. There's so much wrong with that.
We actually had a super chat that was talking about this exact thing, so I figured bring that up right away.
The trebuchet.
Sorry, let me just read his super chat real quick. Taker 610 for $5. How did the orcs obtain rocket-propelled and laser-guided payloads for the trebuchets? Also, the orcs already killed Sauron once, yet Adar fears him.
Well, the trebuchets turn into artillery. They go about 5 times the distance and about a kilometer higher than they're supposed to be.
Yeah, and they maintain their power and energy without coming down. So when they hit the mountain, they're still kind of on an upward trajectory, but they hit it with tremendous force. But that's not how trebuchets work. They have to go down to generate the force again, because they're not, like you say, Reaper, they're not artillery, but the show thinks that they are.
Well, they are artillery. They're just not in this, artillery rifles. You know, it's not.
Yeah.
It's just like, but the whole plan is because there's a good couple of big bridges across that river that they could just walk across, and the elves aren't actually defending outside the walls because they don't know the orcs are coming, because even though they're elves, they're also blind, so they didn't spot any of this happening. Rather than firing trebuchets at a mountain to collapse a mountain into a river to dam the river to dry the bed so you can get people across it, how about you just walk across the bridge and maybe use your trebuchets to attack the walls that you need to get through, rather than lugging a weird reverse battering ram through and then attaching that to a bit of the wall, which then proceeds to do not very much until fucking Mike Ehrmantroll turns up, and then but then if he's the plan to get through the wall, then why not send him at the beginning? Why do they bring him out at the end to do nothing? He's like your biggest, evilest guy who can just punch his way through a wall, but they don't bother. I don't even know where you'd even begin. I'm not looking forward to having to script a review of this episode. Well, I kind of am because it'll be really funny, but I'm not because I don't even know how I would structure it because there's no structure to anything that happens.
Let me ask you this then, as a person who didn't catch this episode in particular, I just have kind of, just as general reception, I've felt like it's just this show is getting worse as it goes along. Is that how you feel about it?
Oh fuck yes. And like I thought it would get better because like if it's just a couple of episodes of a big fight, then you won't have to spend all this time on bad dialogue, bad relationships, bad characterization, all the other things that Rings of Power spends all of the rest of its time doing wrong. If we're just swinging swords, we won't have to put up with any of that. But no, it's all of that and even worse than it normally is, as well as a battle that makes no sense. Because now you've got fucking randomly Elrond coming in and smooching Galadriel for no fucking reason. Like, I don't know where that came from. That's not been set up. There's nothing at all to lead you in that direction. But no, he just walks in and then he kisses her. And then, like, he has her ring, which he thinks is evil. But he brings it to the battlefield, knowing that they're outnumbered. So inevitably he's captured and Adar gets a ring. But because he wants those now, I guess. It's just madness. Madness is what it is.
Well, he's waited until Galadriel was weakest before kissing her. He's the classic best friend. He waits till she's at the lowest point, then swoops in.
She's tied up. Now is my chance. Yeah.
She can't get away.
Elrond, the ultimate beta. God damn.
Why does he have a lockpick in his badge?
I didn't even spot that. Yeah, he does.
It's a lock, but it's not even like it's not like a piece of metal. It's like a proper bended lockpick. It had to be custom made, so he must have worn this knowing he was going to give it to her, and that should be chained up.
Also, if I recall in the previous episode, they didn't even have like a lock. They just basically tied her into the cage, and all of a sudden now it has a lock. It's weird.
What she should have done, which is what Celebrimbor did, being the master smith of the elves who can't figure his way out of some handcuffs, is just chop her own hand off. Like that's just, why not? Yeah, why not? Like fucking Celebrimbor of all people, who works at he's a smith, he's a master smith, he's in his workshop, he's within reach of all of his tools, and he can't figure out how to get the cuffs off. So he's like, fuck it, I'll just stick my thumb in a vice. Like, I've seen videos on Facebook of people getting out of handcuffs, and they don't have to chop their own hands off to do it. It's not hard.
But what's the other thing is, Sauron goes, keep making the rings. You go, how? His forge is fucked.
Yeah, you've been lobbing rocks at it. Like, what do you expect to happen?
That's the least of the forge's problems. Because when he finally comes out of his Sauron-induced trance and sees the world for how it is, there's rock all over his forge that has presumably fallen from the roof as a result of the ongoing battle. And he has never even been nicked by any of the hundreds of pieces of falling debris. I mean, trance or not, if a brick falls on you, you're going to feel it. But no, he was never hit by anything, any brick at all.
But Sauron fucks off. Like, he goes, I need you to make the rings, and I'm going to go away as you cut away your thumb. He's not leading the defense of the city. I don't know where the fuck he's gone. But
he just leaves so he can escape. So then you get the outside shot when you hear him shouting angrily and they all look up at the tower. Like, no, curses foiled again because I left the fucking room. Why didn't you stay there?
But what's funny is that they all go, you're under arrest by order of Sauron, the Lord of Eregion. And then they go, Galadriel, oh no, we believe you. And then they just fucking 180 their entire opinion and then let Celebrimbor go.
And then they do it again because Celebrimbor goes out and he's like, "Oh, I've been tricked. Everyone's been tricked by Sauron. Sauron's been leading the defense of the city." But they don't believe him because Sauron told them that Celebrimbor was mad, so they all think he's mad. Galadriel turns up, and says, "No, he's not mad. He's the Lord of Eregion." So they say, "Okay, no, that's absolutely fine. We're sorry." Then they think, well, rather than sending any of the huge army that we've brought to Eregion, we're just going to send the 5 guards who already were suspicious about Celebrimbor up to the room with Celebrimbor, who's missing a thumb, to confront Sauron, who's already fucked them all in the head. And it's like fucking Palpatine in Revenge of the Sith, and they all turn up, and he's like, "There's treason then." And then he just uses his mind magic, and they all get fucked once again. Just send more people. Send Galadriel. What has she got to do that is more important than arresting Sauron? Give the rings to somebody else. They can run off with a horse, go and arrest him, but they don't do it. I'm actually weirdly looking forward to the next episode now because it's really quite funny.
But Galadriel went, I got into the city through secret dwarven tunnels, and Celebrimbor, who made the fucking city, had no idea about them. What dwarven tunnels?
I can't wait to watch this fucking episode and review this.
Yeah. Well, the only thing that they really set up for that with is that one line about the rivers and the walls. There was it 10 miles of dwarven sheets or whatever it was. I don't remember the exact wording, but it implies that the dwarves made the actual outer wall. But it doesn't flat out say that. It just sort of kind of implies it.
But Celebrimbor doesn't know about the dwarven tunnels, and it's his city.
Yeah, Celebrimbor doesn't know about the dwarven tunnels, but Adar, he knows about this very specific weakest part of the wall. It's never explained how he knows this, but he knows which part of the wall to target with his, what would you call them? His reverse battering rams. He basically, and this thing wouldn't work. The weapon they've designed for the show
looks like
doesn't make any sense. Yeah, it looks like it's basically a gigantic crossbow, and they fire a giant metal arrow into the base of the wall, and then when they pull it out again by pulling on the ropes,
there's actually a name for like those giant crossbows.
It pulls out the brick, but it doesn't make any sense because if you did that, all that would happen is the arrow would come out the hole that it just created. It wouldn't exert any pressure, and it wouldn't exert any pull on the brick that it's been fired into.
A ballast.
So it wouldn't do anything. This they're trying to undermine the wall basically, but without digging. It doesn't make any sense.
It's because they watched the two towers and they remembered the bit where they spot the weak point in the wall. So they thought, well, we've got to do that too, but it can't be a bomb because obviously we can't have those yet. So, well, even though actually technically they could because they've got fireworks. Yeah, that's the sort of thing they were going for. But it's just, well, it's so much less efficient than just using a ram. Like if the wall is weak enough for you to exert pressure on it to collapse it one way or the other, having it so you fire a thing into a wall, then you fire a thing that pulls the thing out of the wall, hoping that the wall will come with it, is losing way more energy than if you just smash something repeatedly into the wall. Just use a normal ram. Why did you go to all of the trouble?
Yeah, also, there's lots of little details in the battle as well, which are really bad. So, for example, none of the orcs are holding the ladders. If you actually just sit back and watch, the ladders don't have any orcs at the base. And they're not attached to any pieces of machinery or anything. Basically, what has happened is orcs have run up, attached the ladders to the walls. By the way, you never see the ladders going onto the walls. There's no scenes showing that. The editing is very poor. And there are scenes where elves are at the wall firing arrows. The ladder is next to them. There's no orcs at the base of the ladder, but they don't push it off. It's awful. It's really, really poor. And you don't see the ladders approach the wall. And when the orcs run at the wall, they run at it in using World War I tactics. So they don't advance in line. They don't advance in groups, which can then be controlled by different commanders. They're using World War I trench tactics, kind of like running across no man's land. That's what it looks like.
What does he say to that woman? The one Asian elf, he goes, a well-placed arrow from you can change this whole thing. And she has one arrow in her quiver that just so happens to do it.
Oh, they give her the hero moment, and I don't know who she is. Like, does she even have a name? Is it this random one? She's in a couple of scenes in the earlier episodes. She's one of the ones who goes with Elrond and gets attacked by the Whites, isn't she? And then she's got maybe like a couple of other scenes at most. And then, yeah, this battle, she's like one of the main characters. I don't have a clue why. I don't know who she is. She gets shot several times, but then heroically stands up and still manages to fire the one arrow at whatever it was. Just like why give that to her? How have you not got any other characters built up by this point that would actually be worth sacrificing?
I have that picture that Reaper was talking about. He sent it to me, so it's right here. This is the wall that didn't exist.
The wall just appear.
Oh yeah, that's it.
Oh, holy shit!
Where the fuck they all come from?
It's a big wall.
That's a lot of work.
It's a hidden wall. They hit a button and it comes up. It's the old ancient
under the water line maybe, and like it's only revealed when the water disappears. You have an underwater stick for some reason.
You can see those giant little towers sticking up that are higher than the city. Well, the beaches anyway.
Yeah,
well, I was gonna say actually that you can literally see the beaches in the top one, so therefore the water line wouldn't make a difference here because there's no beaches on the bottom picture.
And it's only been like a few weeks since the end of season 1, so they haven't had time to build it. And why would they be building it? And the dwarves aren't even helping them with Mithril. The dwarves have built them all of this. It was a big plot point in season 1 when they got the dwarves' help to build the forge itself. They didn't build the walls. Then it was, well, the dwarves aren't helping us because the king's a bit mad. And yet somehow the dwarves have also built the... yeah, fuck it, I don't know.
How does Prince Durin get the entire dwarven army on his side when last episode they were all willing to kill him?
Gives a speech.
Yeah, just turns up, so I'm going to overthrow my father. Okay, but then no one actually thinks to go and overthrow the father, who is still the king and is still mad and still has an evil magic ring. So, of course, the reason the dwarves don't turn up to help is the father's gone mad and killed them all.
His wife says to him, Durin, you need to turn the entire army around to stop your dad. It's like, why not just 10 men?
You know, the more I look at these pictures, I'm not even I can't even tell where some of these buildings are. Like,
I was thinking it kind of looks like two different cities because I can't identify the same landmarks. If you look to the right here, there's a dome on the right in the bottom, in the bottom city.
Yeah,
but in the top, I don't see the corresponding dome. And if you look at the two tallest buildings in the city on the bottom in season 2, the corresponding buildings aren't there in season 1, and there are no buildings of similar scale.
I think the tallest one's the forge.
It just looks like a different city.
So the only explanation I can come up with is that this is supposed to be a different angle. Because if you look, the mountain isn't quite exactly, but like it still doesn't explain the wall.
It doesn't explain a ton of shit.
It doesn't explain the wall. It can explain the buildings, like the skyline looking a little different because you're looking at it from a different angle.
I guess, but there's only one, the tallest building in both shots in the season 1. There's only one building even approaching that scale, and then season 2 there's
2 of them.
Yeah, there's essentially 2 of them.
There's actually 3. There's another big tall tower on the right there. It's hard to see because of the shadow.
Oh, I see.
But, they seem to have redesigned a Region for season 2 without reference to the design for season 1.
Well, because they must have just came up with the idea to drain the river, because whoever designed the first season would never think to put something that stupid in it.
Well, I mean, it's obvious what they're doing. They want to do their own version of Helms Deep, in which a big orc army goes and takes down a wall, but they've done it so poorly. There's also missing scenes. The editing is disgustingly bad. So, for example, Elrond, he is leading the elves constantly in sorties, so they go out from the city, presumably, because we never actually see this, and then they engage the orcs on the battlefield in front of the city, in front of the wall. So there's a few things wrong with that. Why would you do that? Why, if you're outnumbered, why would you actually bring your soldiers outside the wall? I mean, the only time that did happen a lot in history when a city was under siege, but they're called sorties. They generally occur in the early hours of the morning. Soldiers are led out with the intention of trying to either burn down siege equipment, raid the enemy camp, or attack a weak point in the enemy line. And sorties were quite common, but they were short. You would sortie, you would achieve a very specific objectives. So, for example, maybe you wanted to burn down a siege engine, and then everybody would run back into the city before, let's say, the Romans could rally their legions to effectively counterattack the sortie. But you didn't actually sit and fight if you were besieged, because you'd be destroyed very quickly. And that's what happens here. Why are they not fighting behind the wall, like actually making use of the defensive barrier? Why would you give that up and go fight in the mud? It makes no sense.
But they also have temporarily this massive advantage because they have a huge mounted division they turn up on. They all turn up on these horses and they do a charge, and then the charge is stopped because fucking Galadriel is wheeled out in front of them. It's just apparently it's that easy to stop a cavalry charge as well. You can all just stop in unison when you see someone far away. But you've got all of that. Why not just take that around and attack the orcs from behind where all their catapults are anyway? And you've got the huge advantage. You take them by surprise. You come at them from behind. You're all mounted. None of them are. You've got rid of the siege engines. It's basic fucking total war tactics. You get rid of the range stuff first, and you flank them. But they don't. And then they lose the horses sort of willy-nilly. Elrond gets killed, but he's the only one on it for a time. And then they're fighting on the ground. I don't remember them sortying in or out at all. I remember them just sort of teleporting from place to place on the battlefield, just doing random shit. Gil-galad is there at the beginning disappears completely, and then turns up in the middle of the battle hours later, still on his horse, and says, "This
With
is
an
where the
anchor.
battle is, so it's where the king should be." It's like, well, where were you 5 minutes ago when the battle was happening? Where did you come from?
But the thing is, though, he shows up with a ship's anchor. Where the fuck did he get that from?
I missed the anchor. He's actually he's holding an
It's
anchor.
I'll get a picture. It's a full-on anchor for a ship. I'm like, what the fuck? Why would you even bring that?
I saw this. I saw this comment. I just wanted to address it. Actually, this is not a copy of Helms Deep. Stop calling up comparisons that absolutely don't fit.
Except that they absolutely do fit.
Right,
It's a
I
big
don't-
battle outside a city. They find a part of the wall that's weak, and they use siege machines to try and undermine that part of the wall while the battle happens outside it. That's what they are going for. It's not subtle.
Right,
It isn't subtle.
Right. I didn't see the episode, but like throughout the entire series so far, this is what we are constantly referring to as memba berries, because it's not, even if it's not an exact copy of a scene from another movie or in the Lord of the Rings, that doesn't matter. They're doing something to remind you of something superior.
Yeah, this battle is
constantly.
basically. This battle is like Star Killer Base if Helm's Deep was the first Death Star. That's kind of like what's going on here. It's like a really bad, modern, poorly thought out version of something that's vastly superior that occurred years before for the sake of memories. It may not be an exact ripoff, but there are very, very specific things that are the same. So, yeah, of course it's an attempt at Helm's Deep. It's a very conscious attempt at Helm's Deep.
It's fine because like the same guy in chat also apparently is under the opinion that every siege weapon is attached to a wall and then rigged up to a stupid mechanic which tries to pull the wall down. That's how all the siege weapons work, don't you know?
That's a grappling hook, by the way. That's not an anchor. That's a grappling hook.
Either way, why would you bring it?
Well, actually, it would make sense for the other people to make it, like to bring
why
it. Yeah, why would he need it? It would make sense for the orcs to have that to get over the wall.
But he disappears to go and get his grappling hook.
You kind of wonder if they cut a scene out in the middle where like he was in a fight and he lost his sword and he stole it from an orc and now he's using it. Like it's one of those things because they do keep getting rid of scenes because you read it in the interviews when an actor says, "Oh, we did have this scene where something incredibly important was actually established in dialogue, but we cut it." And it would have been really useful. I could see them maybe having cut out a huge chunk of this battle in which he rearms himself, but we just don't see it.
Watching this battle, I get the sense that this really should have been a 2-episode arc because there's just huge chunks of it missing. So, for example, how did when Elrond turns on to his lieutenant and says, "Okay, we're going to be fine. The dwarves are coming." The next time we see Elrond is in battle at the walls of Eregion. So we don't know what maneuver did he decide to make with his cavalry that was outside Eregion. Why didn't they go in on horseback? Why did they not enter the city? At what point did they engage the orcs? How did they get from the side? How did they get from the orcs' flank basically through them and in front of the city without engaging them? Why did they do that? And none of it makes any sense. There's just huge chunks of it missing. When do they perform their sortie? Do they enter the city before the sortie? Or do they just literally go around the orcs so as not to flank them and then attack them from the front? Because apparently that's a good tactic. So much of it is just, it makes no sense because there's entire scenes missing where there's very important decisions we need to hear from Elrond, who's leading the defense outside the city, which we don't hear, and there's maneuvers we need to see that we don't see. So there's just huge chunks of this battle entirely missing.
Well, there's also the armor of the elves is all rusted, to mirror Helm's Deep. But this is Eregion, the Smith village, so they should be wearing the best, most high quality armor available.
Yeah,
it's all green and rusted.
They didn't know what an alloy was until season 1, episode 7, I think it was. No, season 1, episode 8 even. So they didn't know how to make with steel. It's all really old iron and shit.
So it's not old armor. It's just very badly made, brand new.
It's just crap. Yeah, by Celebrimbor, the Master Smith of the Elves.
Well, he's been too busy doing those rings. So like this was a side project done by the interns.
Oh, fucking while we're on the rings. So I may have misseen this or misinterpreted it. Am I right in thinking? So Sauron creates his weird mind palace for Celebrimbor to live in, and he presents him with what he says is a vial of powdered mithril that he got from the dwarves, even though he didn't get it from the dwarves. But in this episode, it turns out, does it turn out that it's supposed to be the vial of the black goo blood that he's made of? So the 9 rings of men are made with Sauron's own blood in a way that the others aren't. But the rings already corrupt people and leave them completely open to his influence. So it makes no difference what he's making them of, because it's already having the desired effect on the dwarves, for example. It's already having the desired effect on the elves. But he's made these ones especially with his blood, even though he, in the previous episode, didn't know how to make the rings because he needed Celebrimbor to do that. But then Celebrimbor didn't do that. So at some point, he realized he didn't know how to make them. He made them with his blood. That's why the 9, which will eventually be given to the men, somehow will be worse than the others, I suppose. But I don't think it makes a huge amount of sense.
It also isn't required because the men are more easily corrupted, so that you don't actually need to make them more corruptible.
Yeah, I mean, this is such a weird thing to add in. I don't understand what they're going for. But then the whole thing with the rings is completely backwards as fuck anyway. So I suppose par for the course.
This one's actually probably I wouldn't be shocked. This is exactly it right here. This comment from the chat.
I'm sure they will.
So
use
instead of
blood.
AIDS, he gives you Wraith blood.
Yeah.
So every time he has sex with someone, they become a Wraith.
This is what happens if you go into a dodgy ring, you get AIDS. That's how it
Sauron
works.
transmitted infection.
But yeah, here, this is the other picture that Reaper sent me.
That was the. But where'd they go?
Looks great.
Where did they come from?
And he got a grappling hook.
Why
it goes
not?
to Elrond. Hang on a second, I'm going back to Linden. And you get more stuff. But
Specifically, my grappling hook.
Don't they go to Khazad-dûm?
He could have stolen it from a dead orc. That's fair enough. But again, that's just something we don't see. He could have taken it from a siege engine or a ladder. Maybe a siege engine which fires up the grappling hook so as to pull the ladders up. He could have gotten that. But again,
yeah, like they do that in Helms Deep in the Two Towers, don't they? Like the ballistas fire the grapples, and the grapples used to pull the bigger ladders up to the top of the deeping wall. So that would have made some sense. But I still probably wouldn't be using it on horses though. Like I wouldn't generally use a weapon on a horse that might tangle up in my horse and kill it. And that seems like the kind of thing that the horse isn't going to enjoy.
Yeah, and that's to say nothing of the actual terrain. Like Reaper said, if the river has just been drained, there's no way you'd be able to ride a horse through there because it would just be mud.
Yeah, they would just get stuck. It would be like that scene in Neverending Story just 1,000 times.
Yeah. Also, where's all the?
As well.
I like how that just completely derailed everybody. They were just like, "That's such a bad. That scene is so traumatic that everyone just didn't want to talk after that."
I hadn't seen it, so I was like, "Yeah."
You've never seen Neverending Story?
I've never seen it either.
I always just agree with what everyone says. I just go, "Yeah, yeah."
Yeah, why don't they open up with the troll? So after they've tried everything else and it looks like they're about to be defeated, Adar releases the final boss, which turns out to be a big troll, and he also turns out to be a bit shit in the end.
Oh, he's awful. It's like they built him up in the interviews beforehand. It's like, yeah, we styled him off of Mike Ehrmantraut from Breaking Bad. How? Where the fuck where is that in the characterization of the troll we got? He's in 2 scenes. He turns up and he's grumpy, and then a few episodes later he turns up and he dies, and that's it. Like,
I thought
so
they would
pointless.
I thought there would be a bunch of trolls. I thought, okay, this guy must be the king troll or a warlord troll, and he'll bring a bunch with him. But no, it's literally just him. That's not gonna fucking do anything. One guy attacking a wall. I don't care if it is a troll. It's gonna get killed pretty quickly. And
he's working useless because he starts killing orcs on the way.
Yeah, but that was the best part of the episode where he was getting fired on, so he picks up 2 orcs and uses them as a human shield. I love that. That was the best part of the episode.
I like that they're doing that for comic effect. Comic effect after they went out of their way to humanize the orcs, and yet they're still using them for comic effects. Like, there's one that doesn't he get like knocked into a catapult and then fired? And it's like you're supposed to find that funny, but for all we know, that's the guy who had the little kid back in Mordor. Maybe like their dad has just been shot into a wall and we're supposed to be laughing at that, which I was, to be fair, because it was funny, but not for the reasons that were intended. But you don't humanize people and then use them as comic effect in that way. That's generally not sensible.
What did you think of the conscientious objector orc? The guy who wasn't happy about orders that would get orcs killed at a fucking siege. Well, that's just, part and parcel. Every single order you give, if you're the commander at a siege, will result in the death of your men. And he turns around to this orc and says, okay, send in the troll. And the troll goes, but father, he'll kill our own men. It's like, yeah, he might kill a few of them, but if we don't use them, a lot more will die. He doesn't say that, but that's obviously the case. And then the guy says, father, I thought you loved us. The conscientious objector. It's so... If you object to war and you don't like your fellow brethren being killed, why did you go to the siege in the first place? Why have you not made your objections known beforehand? If you're all about peace and love, man, then why didn't you stay back home and start an anti-war movement and hire John Lennon to write a wee song for you or something like that? Like, why are you here at a fucking siege? You don't have the right to start moralizing about the depravities of warfare while engaged in a fucking siege in which thousands of people are dying. It's ridiculous. It's so emotionally jarring and wrong dramatically.
Well, I want to bring this up because people online are going, because they've made the orcs into vampires, so they have to have the why aren't they melting in the sun problems fixed. So somehow the sun is bending completely around them. And then
they
people
make them
go, well,
vampires. I haven't really gotten that sense. I don't remember. When did they?
Yeah, they were.
melt
So season 1 establishes they actually fry in the sun. Like they literally burn up.
I don't remember shit about season 1, so
they have sort of forgotten about it. And to be fair, they forgot about it several times in season 1 as well, but they did establish that was the whole reason for them trying to turn on Mount Doom, is because it will then permanently cover the clouds, like the sky with clouds, and so the orcs can live there as a homeland. But they haven't really accounted for the fact that it doesn't really work if you leave Mordor, and yet here they are outside Mordor. But I don't even know how the sun works in this show anymore, because you get to that point at the end of the battle when the dwarves are supposed to arrive, and Elrond says, it's morning, the sun, look north. But the sun doesn't rise in the fucking north. Why are you looking there? Why is the sun rising north?
And everyone's just looking in different directions. Nobody knows. Nobody's got a compass.
I sat there watching it thinking, surely I couldn't have heard that correctly. Why am I looking at the sun rising and having just been told to look north?
Oh, God.
How do you do that?
But then people going, well, the clouds from Mount Doom must be protecting them. I'm like, no, that's Sauron and his magic. You've established that Mount Doom is mechanical. It's just water in lava makes Mordor. So how the fuck are the clouds protecting them? Because people are trying to use Return of the King as defense, but it doesn't work. And also people are saying, well, this scene's symbolic. It's the good guys versus the bad. But then you've spent ages humanizing the orcs, so they're not bad people, they're ex-slaves. None of this works on any fucking level.
Yeah, also, Sauron wouldn't protect them. They're trying to kill Sauron. Sauron wants all these orcs dead. He wants Adar dead.
He wants Adar. I mean, I could see them doing that. The twist will be Adar has brought the army here because Sauron wants the army to be here, and Sauron will take command of the army off of Adar at some point. But then how you'll square that with the pacifist orcs who don't like war actually siding with Sauron over the person who is less bad than Sauron, I'm not sure. But I'm also getting the impression we won't get that this season. I thought they would have done with Adar by the end of this season, but he's now got a ring, and he's still in a position of pretty, good advantage. And there's only one episode left, so I can see them actually keeping him on for a while longer somehow.
We did have this super chat that was sort of related to something that was just mentioned, so I figured I'd pop it up.
Yeah. Sir Lopez for $5. Durin, look to my coming at first light on the 5th day. At dawn, look to the north. The east.
Well, they don't have to. They don't have to arrive at the location on the map where the sun is rising behind them. They can arrive anywhere at any point. They can arrive anywhere on the map during sunrise, as long as the sun isn't coming up to the location that Elrond is looking at. It's fine. And I can't remember if the sun was rising in the general direction he was looking in, or if it was just morning sunlight.
I think it was.
Don Lemon.
Wait,
the sun was rising in the north.
I think it was. That was the thing that made me laugh at the time, because it says it might have just been clumsy wording on their part, but it says it's sunrise or whatever. Look north, and I'm sure the sun is rising as you see it in shot. But maybe it's not, and maybe it just seems clumsy. It's like, because they are going for the at dawn look to the east thing, but obviously it's at dawn look to the north instead, which doesn't really have the same significance.
Did you notice
Remember
how they
there?
subverted the audience's expectations in a bold, brilliant, and original move?
Yes, because the army isn't there when they expect it to be. Very clever of them. That's how you subvert the trope. Someone mentioned Don Lemon earlier. Was it you, Reaper? Like, what was the question?
Doesn't he get stabbed twice? And
Is
then
he dead?
Adar
He couldn't
walks
be dead.
past him. No, he stabs him with an arrow. Don Lemon stabs him. Then he stabs him again. Then he falls. He's starting to squirm on the ground, and Adar just kind of walks past him. So I don't know if he's dead or not.
Yeah, I hope he. I mean, they should have killed him off. To be honest, he should. I mean, let's forget about what they should and shouldn't have done. Otherwise, we'll be here all day. But basically, yeah. If there is a time to kill off Don Lemonlass now, just kill him off now. The show has too many characters anyway, and you, of course, we all have to go ahead.
Yeah, because they brought him to this battle for no reason I could work out. I think that they'd run out of things for him to do over near the Southlands, which is where he's been based until this point. So they have him run from Pelagia to Eregion in basically a day. So that's like 600 miles in a day. But they did that to bring him into this big epic final battle in which he's got no relationship with anyone there. He has no real stakes in that fight. They've only done it because they want to keep him around, but they couldn't think of a better way to get him there narratively. So he does just run that distance in order to be at the relevant place. They can't kill him because he's one of their anchor beings, but they also don't really need him because he has nothing to do. Much like Isildur and fucking what's his name, Theo, who hopefully we'll see nothing else of ever. But yeah, I don't imagine they're going to be killing him off anytime soon.
If they don't show up, what has Isildur done? He got cooked, and that's it.
Yeah, pretty much.
I mean, that's Isildur season 2's arc. Cooked by some random fucking bandit.
Hold on.
I don't even know if we'll revisit them because there's only one episode left and there's nothing else happening. Like, there's no actual ongoing storyline there. It's just, yeah, like he had to go and rescue his horse, but now he's rescued that. And also the
horse rescued him.
Oh, the horse rescued him and then he rescued the horse. I mean, it's a reciprocal relationship.
Despot, you're about to say something?
I was going to say, like, I call him Isildur because all he does is simp after this sort of 6 out of 10, maybe 7 out of 10 on a good day, like that girl. And so he just simps after her on a side quest, falls into a big pile of mud, gets rescued, simps some more. It's this entirely pointless side quest with him, the 6 out of 10, and Don Lemonlass. It has absolutely no effect on the plot whatsoever. And then after that, the show, not knowing what to do, has just warped Don Lemonlass over to Eregion. But what are they going to do with Isildur?
Well, they had that bit where Galadriel somehow sneaks past the entire orc army in her terrible, terrible disguise. Then Don Lemon saves her, and then he goes, I'm willing to assassinate Adar and end the war. But then Galadriel says, oh no, you're too valuable. Even though, just after they fought the Barrow-wights, Elrond says, is sacrificing too many elves worth all this? And Galadriel goes, no, we'll sacrifice anyone I have to get the job done.
Yeah, also, how did Don Lemonlass get into the camp, like infiltrate it? He's not in disguise at all. He's in full elf gear.
Oh, but there's a huge number of like those people getting in and out of that camp. And there's that bit at one point, sort of toward the beginning of the episode, where like Adar has most of the important elves effectively in his captivity, right? So Galadriel's already there and he's caught her. Elrond has walked in to negotiate along with his sidekicks, who are also quite important. They're in the middle of the orc camp, and Adar just lets them go for no reason I can remember actually making sense, in order that Elrond can go back to his army and then lead to the siege. Why not? Like, you're Adar and you've captured the most important elvish commanders. Just keep them there and use them as hostages, or kill them. Fuck it, do something. Don't let them discuss their battle plans while walking through a bunch of orcs, and then let them leave to enact their battle plans, which will just get more of your orcs killed. Yeah. It's a special episode, this one.
Special needs.
Dark Hour, what does your shirt say? Do you have those made?
No. No, they all.
Where the fuck do you find things like that?
I just type random things in, and they just pop up.
All right,
it's fantastic. I'm telling you, wait till you see the BSUP 2-host crossover shirt. It's that one was custom made.
Good.
I think we had a couple. Let me see if there's any more supers that are related to this. This one's sort of related to it.
Adonis for $5. Has anyone here heard Clamavi de Profundis? They're a group, family apparently, who have done a lot of amazing covers of Tolkien songs.
And also, Janice is a member for 3 months.
3 months.
3 months. So, but I'll bring back up the question. So.
I've never heard of it.
Anybody ever?
I don't even know if I pronounced it right. For all I know. And I didn't make you say it, Little Platoon.
No, you had to go at the pronunciation. Well done.
I did.
I was half expecting you like when you got to that to be like, you know what? Never mind. I don't want to take this super chat.
Yeah. I figured I'd go for it. Fuck it.
We also have a new member here. Can you pronounce that?
Welcome.
Platoon said welcome. You covered that.
Let's see any more that are related to. Nope, doesn't look like it. Looks like that's all the stuff for Rings of Power. Not shocked by that though. We've been talking about it for like 6 weeks. So
a little bit left to go though.
It's gonna end. Where do you think it's gonna end? Like how?
Hopefully at episode 8 for good. Like
yeah, right.
Does anybody here think that they're going to cancel it after this season?
No, I thought they've committed to at least. I've read 2 things. They have definitely committed to season 3, and that they are definitely trying to commit to all 5 seasons.
Because I think it'll be a 3-season arc, and that they have deliberately sped up the narrative. Like they're kind of speed running the rings this season because they want to just get this show done with. I think they're going to do a 3rd season, and that'll be it.
Well, what left of the story do they have? I mean, you've only got the 9, the Fall of Numenor, and then the War of the Last Alliance.
Sounds like a season apiece to me.
Yeah, I mean, you've got to get the 9 to the men, and then you've got to see the men being corrupted, and then that will probably be tied to the Fall of Numenor, I would imagine.
Like
the show will give Pharazôn a ring. You've got to have the Numenorians, I assume, invade Middle-earth at some point. I mean, yeah, they could condense it into an episode for that, but I don't know. I think just they spend so much money already, and they have so much money they can spend. It's a useful tax arrangement they've got, and it's their prestige thing. Imagine how embarrassing it would be to cancel it before they've actually, completed what they said was the biggest production they've ever made. The novel Tolkien wishes he could have written. I think they'll do it just out of ego as much as anything. They might spend a bit less on subsequent seasons, but I can see them.
I think that's the route it's going to go. I have a feeling you're just going to see it get cheaper and cheaper looking, and there's a possibility they always could do that thing where they make a season, but it's really just a movie that they say is a whole season, one big long episode, and instead of it being, I guess, whether 8 to 10 hours, it's just 2 hours worth, and they could save money that way. Because there has been shows that have done that, like these are the specials, and it's really just a long episode.
Or they could drag out really boring stuff, like we can see in real time Sauron building Barad-dûr. Because I want the pool to go there, I want the forge to go there. It just spends 3 episodes just building.
Well, also, does every season have to be
improvement video?
Does remember when Cynic had blue hair? One day
I remember. I look at it all the time.
I'll have the guts to dye it again and just pray while it's happening that they don't fry my fucking hair off like they almost did last time.
Just don't go to the same people. There you go. Problem solved.
Everywhere I go, I started going to another place across town, and she started working there.
Oh no, she's following you.
I was like, oh my god.
Okay, you gotta kill her.
Because like over here, you have to get skin tests like a week before you have your hair dyed. Like if you've not had one within 6 months, and if it's the first time at a particular salon, you have to get like a little dab of it on your skin and wait for a few days before they will actually dye your hair to prove, to prove to them that they won't burn your head off. Oh, health and safety gone mad.
No, they just in America they're just like, "Are you going to pay us?
Yeah, are you going to pay us?
What happens to you after the fact?"
They sign this waiver, and we'll do whatever the fuck you want. But I was gonna ask, like, why do they have to? They don't have to make it 8 episodes every season, right? Like, it could be.
No, in theory, they don't have to.
Yeah. So they still could do 5 seasons and stretch it to like 4 or 5.
Yeah, but House of the Dragon does, so they have to do it because of that.
Yeah. That's who they're competing with and losing extraordinarily.
Even though there's other shows that are on at the same time that they could be competing against. Like,
it's more just the embarrassment of this like massively like you come off the back of Game of Thrones season 8, hugely unpopular, massive amount of audience bad faith going into it. Everyone expects it to be shit. And then House of the Dragon turns out to be incredibly popular because it's really, really good. And it's in direct competition. It's a high fantasy, big budget show based on an established IP. And you would think Rings of Power would be in the much stronger starting position. More money behind it, much more advertising, more marketing, everything, not the same amount of ill will. And it has just completely tanked versus House of the Dragon, which has sort of proven itself to be how you do a show like that right.
Although season 2 House of the Dragon was not popular, there was a lot of online discourse. For example, there's no online discourse for Rings of Power. Like, nobody gives a shit about the show, but people are just completely disengaged. Apathy has set in. But with House of the Dragon, there was the actual fan base was really unhappy with how they handled that season, especially how it ended. I mean, I watched the whole thing. I think they botched it. I'm out. I don't give a fuck about House of Dragon anymore. I think they made a complete mess of it. I mean, it's nowhere near as bad as Rings of Power, but it was dreadful how they ended it.
Didn't they cut it like early or something like that? It was they had more episodes planned.
Yeah,
than
the finale didn't feel like a finale at all. In fact, I didn't know it was the finale. I thought there was going to be another episode because it was such an anticlimactic final episode.
It was one of the weakest episodes across both seasons, and like there was unfortunate, I think, because like, it was so obviously trailer bait for the next season. But that's not good pacing, especially since it does like season 2 slows down a huge amount compared to season 1. Obviously, it's not the same kind of time span that it's covering. You don't have the time skips. You don't have the same sense of momentum. It is a lot slower. It's a lot more dialogue, a lot more politicking. It is a lot more like what Game of Thrones like people who didn't like Game of Thrones thought Game of Thrones always was. You know, people walking around in gardens talking about betrayal. Like, it's way more of that. And if you are going to do that, ideally you do save up for some big satisfying payoff in your final episode, which they did not do. So I can see the criticism from that point of view. I still thought it was strong overall, but I hadn't at that point anyway read Fire and Blood. So like, there's a lot of the things which they changed that I wasn't aware of, which might be storing up problems for later. And now having read it, I can see some of the criticisms. But I still think overall it was okay.
This is exactly what I thought of when you said that with South Park when he's walking through the guy's garden and the guy's up there just yelling, "He's gonna betray you!
Get out of my garden!"
He was here the other day with the other ones. Sorry, that's what I think I cut you off on that.
Well, I think the season started very well and then started to fall off. And for me, the point where I basically checked out was where the Hightower girl, what's her name?
Alicent
Hightower basically goes to Rhaenyra and agrees to have her own son murdered, despite the fact that she started the war to put her son in power. And there's no reason for Alicent to do that because she's not incentivized to do it. She's not going to get anything out of this other than peace, I guess. And it doesn't seem that she cares about that because she was in on the plot to begin with. And that was dreadful. That was really poor. And also, there's no reason for that. Like, why are you throwing in the towel so easily? You haven't lost a single battle. Rhaenyra has not. She's got a couple of peasants to ride dragons. They don't have any dragon riding experience, and you're just gonna wave the white flag without having lost a single battle. It makes no sense. It's like they're going for this big payoff, but they haven't set it up properly. They haven't given Alicent proper justification or character motivation to make that decision. And then to betray her own son like that, I just don't think the character would do that. And it's also incredibly stupid of her. Like, what do you think Rhaenyra is going to do with you once she kills your son? Do you think she's going to say, okay, well, hey, Alicent, have a nice day. You can go and live your life. No, she's going to put your head on a fucking pike. It's so fucking dumb.
They tried to do the setup, the sort of the desire for peace angle, because one of my problems earlier on in the season actually was when Rhaenyra does go. This is how interesting Rings of Power is, by the way. We're now talking about something much better. But there is the moment when Rhaenyra goes undercover into King's Landing and meets her in the Sept, and they have that conversation. I was a little bit, that was a slightly dodgy scene, I thought, at the time. But nevertheless, that's supposed to be the setup for the fact that these are sincerely two friends who have sincerely, as opposed to for political reasons, fallen apart. And Alicent was under the impression that the line of succession was as she thought it was going to be. Like, she didn't know about the prophecy. She didn't believe it was like the Rhaenyra was supposed to be the heir. And then obviously the massive stakes involved, all the people they know are going to die, because dragons getting involved is the equivalent of nuclear mass destruction. So that, I think, was supposed to set up the fact that she was at least somehow peace-minded, but she didn't see a way out. And it's only her later reading, when she discovers the truth behind the prophecy side of things, that allows her to see, well, actually, Rhaenyra was kind of right. Also, her sons are, at least one of them is an actual psychopathic dickhead, who might potentially be like another very, very bad king. I can see them. I don't think there was no setup behind it. I can see the argument that it was not sufficient setup behind it, and it was a radical step for her to have taken. But I think there was an element of setup there. It wasn't completely ungrounded. And when you know that many people are inevitably going to die in this fight, like if you're a conscientious person, which she is being set up to be conscientious, she's not a villain, then you are prepared to make certain sacrifices that you wouldn't if you were a villain, and you would just mind it for your own advancement and the advancement of your family. So I didn't mind that at all. But I need to actually properly watch season 2, because I've only really second monitored it while, ironically enough, working on the fucking Acolyte videos. That was the thing my attention was drawn to.
Just don't make any House of Dragon videos, though, because nobody will watch them.
Okay, noted. I'll not do that. I've got Rings of Power videos to make that nobody can watch instead.
Yeah.
Speaking of which, more Rings of Power talk has come through.
Joe Eager for $20. Rings of Power needs a network to tell them half of their characters are unwatchably boring. They need to write them out of the show. Yeah, but if they do that, they won't get their hyper diverse cast going. So,
and one more.
Sir Lopez for $5. Waldemir dies to 3 arrows. Rings of Power. We can do better. 30 arrows. Asian porcupine.
Why do they have like a tar pit on the reverse crossbow?
A what pit?
Like that what's that barrel of explosive tar?
Oh yeah, they
Why
had
the fuck was that attached to it?
I was thinking that when we're just gonna go with what did you call her, porcupine Asian, Cynic?
It's an
Asian
hashtag
porcupine.
Asian porcupine.
Yeah. When Asian porcupine fires the shot that blows up the trebuchet or the fucking siege engine, I was thinking that why do they have that thing there? Surely that's a hazard. If a single spark in the middle of a battle gets in there, the whole thing's gonna blow. Why would you bring
How
that with you?
explosive is it? It's fucking like C4. And then she gets shot. There's no orcs in front of her, so it has to be she died from an elf on the wall.
Do you know what the other thing is? The arrows they penetrate her from all sides. So presumably the orcs are surrounding her, and it's like, where are the orcs firing from?
I think it's everyone. Orcs and elves just went, I'm sick of this bitch. Let's just kill her. And everyone just turns and shoots her.
Just to make sure she dies. One of the elves from the wall going on, she's only taken 7 arrows. She might live. I'll just fire an 8th one into her.
Should we move on?
Yeah.
I cannot believe we give another hour to Rings of Power.
I'm so sick of Rings of Power.
And two of the people on the panel haven't even watched this particular episode yet. We still got an hour out of it.
Oh, for fuck's sake. I've watched it. I actually watched this.
This is hell.
The shite that I watch. It's so bizarre.
But at least it's shorter than Rings of Power.
But
I feel it though.
He said wine mums, and what's the first trial they come across? Wine.
Hold on. I have a question. Like, I need to ask this because women like romance. They like hot men. They like love interests and sexual interests. This show it literally does not have a single man. How could this be made for women?
Well, it's made for women in the sense that like they're all like it's supposed to. It's women writing what women like, or what they think women like. So like it's just a bunch of old-ish, aging single wine-aunts with the young gay best friend, and like that's it. And that's like pretty much my entire notes for this episode is just that. There's nothing. I'm not covering this because I have nothing to say.
Yeah,
nothing happens. What's the point?
I just released a video on it, and
it was actually this particular one was pretty difficult. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, I don't know if you're just doing it because I'm scripting it as I go. I've only been doing that for television shows. Normally, you know, I'll take my time with it, but with this, it's more of just a rant. It's really easy to just shit on. It's super easy to do that. What I was saying this morning, it's discussing it, and it's not just for women. It's for a subset of women. Like, so it's not just they're eliminating like the male demographic and in a Marvel show, which is fucking ridiculous. And they're eliminating an entire percentage of women too, because it's specifically for like middle-aged wine moms that drive their kids to, you know, soccer practice and stuff. Like, that's pretty much it. And I said it in my review too, like just like the WNBA, like no one's watching this shit. And I know they said that there are 9 million people that watched the first episode, but that doesn't mean shit.
Well, it said that there was 9 million views at the debut, which was 2 episodes. So that would cut that in half.
Right. I was wondering that because I was like, is it for the first episode? Because if it is, why didn't you mention what the drop off is between episode 1 and 2? I would love to know that. And also, like, it doesn't even matter what a lot of these streaming services say about because it's never consistent. It's not like box office where it's like, this is how much money it made and it's cut and dry like that. It's like, no, this is how many minutes were watched over 6 days because that number sounds good to us. And another show will be like, this is how many people actually watched the show in the first day. It doesn't matter. It's inconsistent. And what speaks to that is the fact that the Acolyte opened to 11 million people watching that. And how did that fucking work out?
And remember, everybody who's streaming it is actually 2 people.
Right, at least 2. So, yeah, it could be that along the lines because like Zack Snyder thinks there's 40 people living in a house, I guess.
If only they'd released Rebel Moon in cinema, it would have made $1 billion. Exactly. You know,
I did see Rebel Moon in a cinema. Actually, I saw it before it came out because Netflix actually owns. I think they own four theaters in major cities throughout the United States, and you can get like pre-screenings of things that are going to be released on Netflix. And I went because I was like, this is probably going to be really fun to shit on and do good for my channel, and it did. So,
why would you torture yourself? You can't escape.
The funny part is I had just lost my job like 2 days before that, so I was really masochistic at that point, apparently.
But the rest of us can turn away, go to the toilet, take a shit.
That's the problem, Reaper. That's one of the reasons I force myself to go to the theater because I can't escape. Like when that last Planet of the Apes movie, like Jesus Christ, it took every ounce of will to stay in the theater and not get up and walked out. There's no way I could have gotten through that at home.
So I'm not gonna lie, it was actually kind of funny because I wasn't the only one. Actually, I went with Blue Collar Loser, who I know, Cynic. I know you've crossed up with him before.
Yep.
Because we met in New York City to go see this, and there was maybe like 4 or 5 other people in the theater, and as it went on, one of the things I made sure to do was like look at the other people just to kind of gauge the reaction. And it was just, they were just slowly like sinking into their chairs. Like they couldn't believe what it was. Just like, like the whole movie. Every time I looked back at certain people, they were further and further, like almost like they were trying to slink out of the chair and leave without anybody noticing, but no one would have noticed anyway.
There's nothing like looking around and seeing people staring at their phones during a movie in the theater.
I mean, me and Blue Collar Loser are friends in real life.
Yeah, I don't have the exact same situation as you, Des, but every time I go to the theater, I try and go during an afternoon show to not catch a crowd. And like, you know, there's just not as many people going in general anyway. So there are only 6 or 7 people. So even, you know, with the intent of going to the movie so that I have to focus on the movie, I'm not disturbing anyone because there's no one around me. So I can still just like I can still text someone along the way and just be like, this movie's a piece of shit. Like I'm always on X, like messaging someone like Platoon or Vex or something, or Dark Hour, telling while I'm watching it. It's just giving
a lot of times I'm
running
in the theater
commentary.
at the same time as you, and we're just offset slightly. Like I went in slightly before
Yeah.
you, or vice versa. And so it's either a preview of what's about to happen. Like, oh, this is really bad, and I know in 5 minutes it's about to get even worse, or vice versa.
Yeah.
Do you have like a specific seat you go in, like to avoid? I always try to go for the back right seat.
Yeah. I'm a back corner, left or right, whichever is fine. But
you're
try
one of the
get away from
kids.
People.
Too cool for school, man. The back of the
no,
back of the bus.
I do it so that way if there is other people in there, I'm not bothering them, because I still try to respect the concept of the theater experience for people. Like when I took my notes for Dune 2, I felt really bad because I was in a packed theater and I had to like basically I took like my drink and like tried to like wedge my phone between it so I wasn't like distracting the guy next to me. And so if I can, I try to get in the back corner so that way nobody's behind me to be distracted.
Oh yeah, we really liked Agatha, by the way, because we're totally talking about that.
I mean,
oh fuck yeah, Agatha! Jesus, what long? We've talked about that for 2 minutes, and then went on a tangent about the theater experience. That's how fucking boring.
We went from a TV show to talking about the fucking theater experience.
Oh fuck, Agatha!
I feel bad for Deborah Jo Rupp. The everyone knows her as Mrs. Foreman, Kitty Foreman.
That's all I could call her.
She's such a delight in everything that she's in. She's always funny. She's just looks like a nice person, and they're fucking like beating the shit out of her. Like having her like almost get eaten by the floor.
Do you remember any of the characters' names in this show?
No, I've made them all up.
I was about to ask that because I cannot name one of them. There's Gay Kid.
He doesn't have a name.
He doesn't even have a name.
Oh, okay.
So I just call him the gay guy.
His actual
Twink.
Well, I have a feeling that they're going to be merging two characters with him because I think he's supposed to be Wiccan, which is technically Wanda and Vision's son reincarnated. And then, but they've clearly set up that he's also Nicholas Scratch, which is Agatha's kid. So it's weird. It's I feel like they're taking two characters and just mashing them together and going, here you go, this is what we got.
Do you think he's the Darkhold? They'll have turned him into the book.
I can't even predict it because they're already going off script of like what the characters are supposed to be. So I'm not really sure.
Well, they've mentioned Mephisto.
Yeah, but I feel like at this point that's just a running gag with all Marvel things because everyone's like, "Oh, Mephisto's going to be in the next one. We know it for sure." And I feel like that was them.
Who wants to bet when we see Mephisto, he's actually fisting something?
Could be.
They have said apparently Aubrey Plaza's character is supposed to be Lady Death. That
would be cool, actually.
That was
if she plays that character, that would be cool.
Yeah, because that was apparently spoiled by Funco because they put out because Funco probably doesn't give a shit at this point. And they're like are probably actively trying to get out of the contract they have with Marvel, so they're spoiling things so that way Marvel will no longer have to force them to make these things that don't sell. I guess Disney in general.
Yeah, I tried to. Speaking of Funko, I tried to ship Platoon his custom BSUP Funkos that I had made, and they wanted $200 to ship that overseas.
Per unit, or just for the shipping?
Yeah, just for the shipping, because it's this right here, right there. Yeah, that thing.
I hate that when you can't figure out which side you're on.
Are they going to get it a ticket? The fuck, $200 just to ship it?
Yeah, just to ship it overseas.
So this is actually this is a great comment here about where was Death when Thanos was around because they're kind of intrinsically connected characters.
Yeah,
let me see if I can find the picture specifically. Let me see if I.
Yeah, for those not in the comic book lore.
Hold on, I'll pull up two pictures and you can kind of make that determination yourself.
Dark Arrow is just searching through his private folder of Aubrey Plaza pictures right now.
Yes, I have all the Aubrey Plaza pictures from these particular episodes and many others.
I will say this isn't the worst Marvel show. It is very boring, but it's not the worst. Like She-Hulk
I
is
totally
worse.
agree. Yeah, She-Hulk is
No,
really
yeah,
bad.
I feel the
Yeah.
exact
This
same way about
what
it.
this show has, the characters are very boring and the dialogue's boring, and it just bores the shit out of me. And I know it's not made for me. I'm not a wine mom, although I'm not convinced that wine moms are going to watch it either. But at the same time, it does have a coherent plot. There's a very definite goal they're trying to get to, and it follows a very tidy, essentially quest plot line. And I think the basics, the fundamentals are there. It's just the characters that they have filled this plot with are shit. I don't even think the plot's a bad one. I think it's quite a good one. This idea of getting 5 witches together to go off and go to find this witch's road so that they can get their power back is actually quite a good idea. The problem is their motivation sucks balls. They all just want to be powerful to be powerful. So, for example, let's say the main witch had a niece who had cancer and she wants to cure her cancer. That's nice. Now I kind of care. I might not like her, but I can root for her niece. And maybe the Asian one, I don't know. She's about to lose her house and her kid, like she's a single mother, because a lot of single mothers in the US, and you want to get that demographic maybe. And she doesn't want to have to move her kid into a shitty neighborhood, right? Because her kid really likes her new school, something like that.
That would be racist and offensive, so you couldn't do that.
Yeah, well. So stuff like that, you give them real motivation, not selfish motivation.
Yeah, all their motivations
would
are boring.
That would be good. Or maybe the black chick's running a charity or something, and the charity has to shut down because they just haven't got enough money. So those poor kids in Africa, what are you going to do?
Is it BLM?
It probably is. But give them real motivations. Give them good motivation so we actually care about their journey, so that there's some stakes involved. But instead, it's just it's just a bunch of old bents who want to be more powerful, and I just couldn't care. I couldn't care less.
Yeah, between that and like Stations of the Cross need to be way more pronounced. Like they need to actually have trials on the road. Now I know we're only episode 3, so there is still 6 episodes left.
One trial,
and that trial is wine, and that's it. Which is not a trial; it's a pleasure. So it's like there's nothing really worth hooking onto there either. There aren't any characters, as Jasper says, but there's also I don't really know what the road is. I don't care. Why should I care? What are the challenges?
It's basically the multiverse, because anything can happen on the road, and so anything will happen, and so it just becomes this excuse to do whatever the fuck you want. Like at the end of episode 3, like a flood happens to wash them out and into the next fucking scene, and then into the next episode. Why? Because it just can. Because why not? And each character's motivation is one line each. It's like the Asian woman wants to speak to her her dead mother, and you just get she goes and meets each witch, and you get 1 or 2 sentences about why they're essentially going to join her or reluctantly join her. Of course they're all going to, but you have to play this stupid fucking game where you're like, are they? Oh yep, they do. What a shocker. It's even if it's coherent, it's still fucking boring, and it's also supposed to be funny, and it's not.
Oh yeah, fuck! It's so unfunny. I forgot that this was supposed to be a comedy.
It's supposed to be like this hocus pocus style show, and I do have a soft spot for that from my youth.
That's a good show, man. It's dark as well. Hocus Pocus has some really dark stuff in it. I know it's kind of fun, and the actresses are really good and have amazing chemistry, but it's kind of dark as well. There's a really dark undertone to that movie.
And they did have a male character in that. Remember? The dead guy. The dead guy, and he was hilarious.
But yeah, the cat was a male character.
Oh yeah. Her neighbors are she has a couple male neighbors. But I just find it fascinating that it's like, no, you don't have to make a show for everyone all the time, but it's constantly odd that they'll make something that completely pushes away the primary demographic of Marvel. And it's just fucking stupid. But at the very least, they didn't spend like 100 million plus on this one. So, it's not the biggest disaster in the universe if they aren't able to make another one.
I mean, they lied about the Acolyte.
Yeah, the reported budget is under 40 million, whatever the fuck that means. So it could be, it's probably like 35 is what they're
Yeah.
saying. But yeah, it very well could be 100 million. You still have to market the thing too. So that's not cheap. And normally the marketing budget is equal to or greater than the production budget. So
I mean, it's not too bad. Think about Echo. They were able to basically sweep Echo under the rug. Everybody's forgotten about it. There's no lasting brand damage. It was shite. It was boring. No big deal. I think this will be another one of those. It's not going to do any tremendous amount of brand damage. It's not too expensive. And by the time it's over, everybody will have forgotten and they can move on to Blacked in America, which is going to, I hope, flop horribly.
I hope so too.
Only because it was such a pain in the ass to get this to work, I'm going to show them, even though
that is going to flop, though. That costs like $400 million.
So that's Aubrey Plaza's character in the movie.
She kind of looks like Lady Death. So
hold on, I have another one, and I had to do this kind of ass backwards because of I couldn't get the right. Everything is always in the wrong format nowadays for anything, so I just gave up on that and that's what the character looks like. So it's pretty clear the inspiration is there. Whether or not they go with it is not that's supposed to be a mask too, by the way, which would be hilarious because that would be taking the only attractive woman in the show and making her face a mask she can take off.
That's why all the women hate her, because she's the hot one.
Okay, let's see.
They all have weird faces.
Oh, especially in episode 3, after they drink the wine, all their faces get all fucked up like they had plastic surgery.
Well, the strange thing is the road has these established rules that they all have to follow. But if you follow the rules of the road, you'll die. Because they say you're not allowed to enter the road without witches. You all have to form a coven. But the gay twink isn't part of the coven. But without the gay twink, there's no way you can solve that puzzle. Because they need the blood of an unpoisoned person. But to progress the trial, every witch has to drink the poison. So if you followed the rules and didn't bring a gay twink with you, you would have failed.
Didn't they stop following the rules almost immediately after saying that they can't? They're like, oh, we can't leave the road. And then they see something off in the distance and fucking leave the road immediately and walk off into it, into the house.
Well, they also, what's that? The neighbor they hire. What's her name?
It's Ms. Hart, aka Ms. Davis, aka
Foreman's mom.
Mrs. Foreman, such as like what everybody knows her as.
Well, what Agatha does is incredibly stupid because each witch, each trial specializes each witch, but it puts you in danger. So you've taken a woman with no expertise in witchcraft, and when her trial comes, she's got no way of dealing with it, and you put yourself in danger because of it.
You feeling okay over there, Platoon? You're looking a bit twitchy.
Oh, that's just, yes, all this talk of gay twinks is getting me twitchy. What can I say?
Hey, Platoon, you want to read that super chat?
I can. Toivo Korhonen for €5. Do you think Disney Plus headquarters has a room with 1 million screens streaming their own shows 24/7 so they can claim their show has a ton of views? I can say, it's either that or they're utilizing their nice relationship with the people who run concentration camps in China. And so all they do is actually they have all the poor Uyghur Muslims sort of chained to desks watching non-stop Disney shows.
I also saw a comment saying...
Talk about one-upping Auschwitz.
There was one comment that was saying someone who's working for Disney must actually be trolling them because they like watching YouTubers shit on everything.
Yeah, they're making up fake numbers. They're like, oh yeah. Here's another one, same person.
I already forgot how to pronounce that. Hey, Platoon, you want to read that one too?
Toivo Korhonen for €5. It's not even for wine mums. It's for 30+ women who don't date, drink wine, don't have kids, and just focus on their own lives and careers.
So it's for wine cat moms.
Winos as opposed to wine mums.
Cat moms.
40+. I mean, there's still some pretty damn good looking women, in their 30s, but these women, they're well past it, and they're all over 40.
So I'm just gonna bring this one up because it's the same user. It's not related, but this one's been sitting there for a while. I don't want it to get lost.
Toivo Korhonen for €5. South Park Satan dressed up a sweet 16 teenage girl and screaming "It's all about me" pretty much summarizes the modern movie writers. Yes, good reference.
he or she has a 50 euro one that I want to say for I'm going to say for a little later because it's a complete discussion in and of itself. I think so. But,
fair enough.
Let's see. Is there any more about? A couple more came up with Rings of Power, but you missed the boat. We'll go back to we'll get back to you. And you know what? Here, our friend Larry.
Oh, Larry made us look for 20 bucks.
Larry.
Every time.
I think that's it for Agatha stuff.
It's hard. This is just lesbian witches. I can see the mistake.
We already did this over the summer. It was called Acolyte.
Yeah. It was Acolyte all along.
Multiplying.
Agatha and Acolyte. All right.
So I guess we're done with.
Yeah, fun. You know, we spent 20 minutes on it. Fuck Agatha.
Okay. Cynic, what do you want next? Or do you want me to just surprise you?
It just surprised me. Oh. Yes, this is a good show. Yes, indeed.
I love this slide.
Well.
well. We do have someone who disagrees.
I don't think it's bad. I think it's okay.
Okay.
A little overrated.
Have you seen both episodes, Reaper, or just the first one?
I've seen both.
Okay.
I think the second one's worse.
Right, because I was thinking the first one, I've only seen the first,
so
and I really enjoyed the first. But if you're kind of saying it's overrated, maybe, yeah, I could see that happening if the second episode was a bit shit.
Well, they don't act like real gangsters. You've got the Italian mob, which is the most diverse mob in all of fucking New York, or wherever the set is, Gotham. He's like, the Maronis have got half Iranians everywhere. You've got this Falcones. The Penguin respects transsexuals and like prostitutes. None of these act like Italian gangsters at all.
Yeah, but that makes sense because he has to work with, like, he has to work.
But it's not just him; it's all of them. He has black recruits, and the Falcones have like a diverse gang. The Maronis, the enemies, he has an Iranian wife. He speaks Spanish as well, so he's trilingual. And what is this super diverse Italian casting? Has anyone seen The Sopranos?
I live in The Sopranos.
Around with Meadow, he goes, "No, get out." Well, that's just a little bit. That's just the gang setup. But there's loads of little things that don't make any sense. Like he goes to Blackgate prison and meets Maroni, and Blackgate is the main prison where all the mobsters go, and nobody tells the Falcones about this. The Falcones don't hear about this, which I don't believe. There's loads of stuff like that, and like the final, I'm kind of going everywhere here, so
no, it's all good. Do it.
Well, they don't act like a proper mob as well. Like the Penguin is the most untrustworthy person. Nobody trusts him. Everyone says this repeatedly, and yet every shitstorm he's at the very center of, and nobody questions it. They put a gun to his face, and then he just goes, "Well, what about this?" And he go, "Okay." There's no way you get away with that. People have been killed just thinking you've talked to the police or talked to someone else.
Yeah, if you read the book that Goodfellas is based on, you know that scene where they basically wipe out everyone who was involved in the bank robbery? I mean, that really happened. That
so
guy,
paranoid.
He killed anyone who he thought would potentially talk to the police or who could implicate him in a crime. That's an interesting book. Jeez, that guy though, that main fucking guy in Goodfellas was such a scumbag. It's a shame he didn't die in prison.
I'll stop ruining it. Talk about something good, and then I'll come in and ruin that. I'll wait. I'll let you build up, and then I'll come in again.
As far as the diversity thing goes, I think I do enjoy the show. So I feel like that's kind of like the diversity part is when I'm talking about that stuff in a negative light, it's because clearly that's what's been focused on in this, in the show or movie or whatever it is I'm talking about. And it's prioritized over other things. And that becomes painfully clear as you're watching it because it's like, it's a piece of shit, but all they talk about is the diversity in the marketing and yada, yada, yada. It's not really what I've seen here. Cause even in the Batman, I don't know how you feel about that. You probably don't like that either, but
no.
Yeah, there you go.
Know? How could you know that? I don't like stuff.
I liked that movie too, and that was diverse, but they didn't, it wasn't marketed as such. They didn't
I know
really
it's a
talk about
lesser
it.
part of it. It's just a little thing I've noticed on top of the other stuff. It's more just how they behave. Like, he's going to prison. There's no corrupt cops. There's no other mobsters from the Falcone family.
I did find it bizarre that in episode 1 they did have security guards standing around. You would think that wasn't going to be, that kind of conversation wouldn't be had with security guards standing around, and you'd have to headcanon your way out of it. I was just like, well, maybe they're paid off,
Well, I understand that, but crooked cops don't just they're not just loyal to the Maroni, whatever they're called, the rival faction.
Maroni and
Falcons and Maronis.
If you're corrupt with one, you're corrupt with the other. But the thing is, though, episode 2 goes, the Maronis get blamed for the death of Alberto, and that starts a war. But then he goes, you take the credit. But I go, well, how can he take the credit? His capos are in prison with him, and they're all overhearing this. So everyone knows that he didn't kill him. It was Penguin. So what credit does he gain? And in fact, he gets a war out of it, which, why would that be a good thing? And then he goes, right, his wife goes, well, he's a dog, but dogs can be submissive. And I went, he's betrayed his family, he's killed his boss, and he's coming over to us. There's no fucking way anyone would trust him. It's basically a message of, do we kill him now, or do we use him and kill him later? But she's going, he's a dog that can be domesticated. No fucking way. Nobody likes betrayal. And then
I know it's see. While I'm watching it, I'm not having to headcanon my way out of that stuff because I'm just like in each scene, he's just a clever character that's constantly talking his way out of being killed almost immediately.
Is he clever?
I mean, so far I thought so.
Well,
I haven't finished episode 2. I got like 15 minutes left.
You've seen this bit because he basically goes, "I'll give you the drugs, and you can sell them." But how can he sell them if there's a war going on? And a war gets more feds on. Because they're purposely moving Penguin's operation to get away from the police. They're going somewhere quieter, which shows that the police have a presence in Gotham still. If you established that the police were gone, there's no police, I can understand a bit more the war. But the fact is, the police do have a presence. You've established that. And now a war, which, if you take the drugs from the convoy, how are you going to sell if you're in the middle of a gang conflict? Your dealers are going to be killed. It's stuff like that I don't really... Because I think I watched too much Goodfellas and Sopranos and a bunch of other stuff, and I'm like, no, this wouldn't work.
I mean, that's fair. I've never watched the Sopranos. Was something I've never watched for one reason or another. Not that I ever didn't want to. It's just never
son of a bitch, you.
Well, I didn't have HBO when I was a kid, so I'll watch it.
I watched gang films. Even when I was a kid, I was watching Goodfellas. We're just killing someone. I went, yeah, I'm like 3. Go kill a snitch. His first words.
I was the same. I loved Goodfellas as a kid. It was
Boss. Great. Casino as well. Who's it they kill? Where they go, he's a great guy. At the very end of it, they go, but why take the risk? And they just murder him anyway, even knowing that he's innocent. Like, this is the paranoia. Yet the Penguin, every shitstorm, the Penguin is involved.
It can still come to a head, though. Like, that can still happen. The war's just begun. So, I mean, we still have a few episodes to go.
Reaper doesn't have time for that shit, Cynic.
I know, but the results that happened at the tail end of Casino.
No, but and then what happens after the drug bust? The capo, one of your men die. Number one, I don't know how they got the drugs because it's only one car following them. And then, all of them die. The capo gets clipped. One of the Penguin shoots the other guy. And then they go, well, the Maroni's got the drugs. How? There was only one car following them. And then, so you go to the woman, and then your capo's been taken hostage. You went, so we've got a war. We've lost the capo. And we got drugs we can't sell because our dealers are going to get killed. How does any of this work? Why would you keep the Penguin alive? The first thing you would do is slit his throat.
I mean, these are fair questions.
I'm just saying, in a paranoid mob, he would be the first person you kill. See, if he was well liked by everyone, you could sell it more, but everyone hates him. Everyone thinks he's untrustworthy. The Maronis and the Falcones. So you've got this snake nobody trusts in the middle of every conflict. Why wouldn't you kill him?
What's the name of...
in every single scene, he's about to be like fucking gutted or something and weasels his way out of it.
Yeah, and some convenience shit comes in and saves him. Like, you go, hang on a second. When Alberto was getting his body was found, I was torturing him. Then the drug bust goes off. Who's in the middle of it? Penguin. The capo goes missing. The Penguin didn't do it. So both sides have no reason to keep him alive.
I suppose, but like the scene when he was about to be, I don't remember her name, but she called for him to have. No, it wasn't Sophia. He was about to be gutted in episode 3 or episode 2, and he's screaming, "Wait!" And he has photos that's gonna incriminate. Yeah, I can't remember if it was the Maronis or the Falcones. Or he was talking to the Maronis. That was going to incriminate a Falcone. And it's just constantly scenes like that keep him one step ahead of everyone else, even though he is this untrustworthy person.
But his plan was to go to the funeral off time, by the way. The fucking guy, his nephew's funeral, he shows up late, misses it. Then his plan is to just give him incriminating photos of his underboss. It's like, how do you think that's going to go? You get killed instantly. Hey, I've just found these secret police photos of your underboss. The second there's a rat that's being, you know what I mean? You go, well, it's clearly you. Where the fuck did you get this from? And you were also hanging around Alberto's place before he died. Every problem has the Penguin in the middle of it. And penguins don't, and the gangsters don't need a trial. They just go, well, he's suspicious and we have a rat. It's clearly going to be the Penguin.
Yeah, but he also is, as disrespected as he is, it's also because he's just a lowly person. So it almost seems like he's only on their radar when he's.
Well, he leads a drug operation, the main one in the city. So he's quite high up. He's basically a capo. And a rat's a rat.
I'm just going to call this debate I'm going to call this debate for Reaper. I think you've lost, Cynic. I think.
Well, bear in mind,
I cannot disagree with his objective points.
Well, Cynic should tell me to fuck off and he'll start winning. He needs to be aggressive. Call me a wanker.
But speaking of, I would like to make this one happen, this comment right below. I would love to see that, actually. It's got to find the right topic where they disagree and get Disparu and Reaper going back and forth. I think that would be great.
I will say this, if you are the Italian mob and you're in the habit of killing everyone who is potentially suspicious or potentially treacherous or generally untrustworthy, you would end up killing everyone in your organization.
But it's how useful are you?
He's useful because he makes money.
He's very useful.
Well, no, because they're moving his operation. They're moving his drug operation, which he's in charge of, which is, I understand why he didn't kill him. Well, she was going to kill him before that with Alberto. But they're moving his drug operation somewhere quieter to avoid the feds, which means he's losing all this money. He's no longer useful. And the transport he's in charge of gets hijacked. So he's lost any value. And you know there's a rat in your organization. Who would it be? If you had to go, there's a rat in my organization. Is it the untrustworthy fucking clubfoot Penguin? Yeah, you'd say yeah.
Fucking clubfoot into this.
Well, because, the Italian mob.
Ableism is really required for
this. That's what's going to get
I'm sorry. I thought it's an Italian mob. I forgot. It's all got diversity quotas and it's all open-minded. This super open-minded Italian mob.
And the other aspect of it as well is if you go casually killing members of your own organization because you kind of suspect them, you're going to increase desertion. So, because people are going to become afraid if you're a member of a mob and they kill your boss, let's say your boss is the Penguin, and they kill him because they kind of suspect that he might have been involved, like, you're going to just fucking take the money and run. You're not going to hang around, and it's going to be a lot of guys will have the same attitude. So you're decreasing loyalty. Well, I mean, can you, or is it just a suspicion?
Yeah, you shove a rat in his mouth like they did in Sopranos.
Like you talk about, Goodfellas Jimmy and so forth, but when that guy Jimmy in Goodfellas, and it is based on real life. When he went nuts and started killing everybody, he did eventually, that organization did collapse, and they did eventually end up going, getting arrested and going to prison for life. And the reason for that is because he had made too many enemies. He had been too careless with who he was killing. If you just go full Italian mob and kill whoever you suspect of maybe being involved with the police or something, or if you do that, you're going to create an internal rot in the organization. Everyone's going to become terrified and paranoid, and they'll start going to the competition or the police, and the organization will get collapsed. And this was a problem. The mob, this is one of the reasons why the organizations like the one described in Goodfellas collapsed, because of that internal rot. So
and
there is
right. But the thing is, though, is with the Penguin, you've had a war. You've had your second boss, Alberto, be killed. It's like instability is already everywhere in the organization.
Yeah, but Burn as well, Reaper,
by a rat.
The unspoken, the quiet part that no one's going to speak out loud is they're quite happy to see Alberto dead.
True, but the war.
They want that just swept under the rug and like, okay, he's dead. Let's not make a big thing of it. Let's just move on. That's going to be the vast majority of the mob.
And Sophia is the one who's pushing the revenge tour on this anyway, because she has to constantly remind people that like, oh yeah, like justice is what Alberto deserves.
Well, why does her uncle tolerate her if she's a serial killer and they're purposely moving operations of drugs to avoid the feds? That means they don't want conflict, which means why the fuck would you keep the serial killer out of Arkham, especially when her dad and her brother have been killed? She's clearly going to relapse. Just send her back to Arkham if you want to avoid any sort of drama.
Well, family's family.
Yeah, but he doesn't seem to give a shit about... If they're fine with Alberto dying, then they probably won't be fine with Sophia going nuts, torturing capos.
Alberto had his... you could make the argument that, well, Alberto had his chance. He turned into a junkie and an alco, and he got what he had coming to him, whereas Sophia was just mentally deranged. She was just, she was sick in the head.
Yeah, I mean...
we're going to be sorry for her from that perspective, but no one's going to be sorry for Alberto.
This is in terms of noise. That guy. Well, they all don't want the feds on them, and having a serial killer... A mentally unstable serial killer girl with you is not going to help that. And if you're fine with Alberto dying, then you're more than fine with Sophia going back to Arkham. You don't have to kill her. Just send her back to Arkham, where she's probably more safe.
Because if she's recovered...
If she's mentally ill, the serial killer, I think it's not going to be hard to convince the serial killer to go back to the loony house. You could.
She's not she's having nightmares about it. She does not want to go back.
That's the thing. That's the thing. You go to her therapist, and she goes, "Well, she's freaking out over a red light. How is she going to deal with car traffic when everyone brakes?" It's so easy to put her back in prison. But the thing is, though, back to the thing. The noise is the last thing the Falcones wanted, because they specifically moved the drug operation to somewhere else because they went, it's quieter there. We don't have trouble. The rat in the organization has caused an all-out war with the Maronis, which is the last thing anyone wants. And I still don't understand what the Maronis get out of it. How does claiming the killing of Alberto benefit your organization? Because all his capos know he didn't do it. It was the Penguin, because they're in the prison with him.
This is very related super chat. Sorry. Sorry, I don't know when to pop these things in right now. This is difficult.
Hemorrhoid hurts for an ass $10. Very apropos. I like Penguin, but I agree with Reaper. The prison scenes are bullshit. And when he planted the knife, he accused the big boss of being behind the whole thing. He would have been killed just for that.
Yeah, word would have gotten out that Salvador got his ring back. And once it was discovered, okay, Salvador somehow got his ring back, then there would have been inquiries made, and it would have been found out that the Penguin gave him the ring. Therefore, the Penguin killed the guy, and then they'd go and kill the Penguin. So that's definitely
that would make sense. But he can have open conversations in Blackgate with the Maronis, and Falcones know nothing about it. So he can have that ring on forever. Nobody would know about it, because Blackgate seems to be completely Maroni. Not even the corrections officers will say anything.
They're all paid off.
No, you're right about the prison scene, 100%.
That would bother me.
That is just a flat-out plot hole.
But the thing is, though, he also has that little the black kid with him, and his whole job is to look after his mother because he says, "Look after my mother," but in episode 2, he shows up and he's not looking after his mother. Some Mexicaners or I don't know, could be Guatemalan. I don't know. I'm not very cultured like that. I don't know.
There's a logistical problem.
Something south of the American border. We're not quite sure where.
Something foreign, and then it's alien and weird to me, and I don't like it.
There's also a kind of a plot contrivance. So at the end of episode 1, the penguin's little droog, his little minion, the black kid, he drives the car into the Falcone estate by putting a brick on the accelerator and then presumably running off. But this is in the countryside. There's not many places you're going to run to, and you're going to get caught pretty easily once the guys come out and look for you. And you can't have, it's not like you drove 2 cars there so you could have an escape car, and you can't have used
how to get past the gate,
an ally. It's not like you got one of your friends to drive behind you and then drive you back home, because that would have involved somebody else. So how the fuck did this guy, I mean, how did you even drive the car in there? Like, you can't get through the gate, you can't drive it over the wall. How did you physically get the car into the interior?
You drive it through the forest, bumping
and then how do you escape?
Like,
you're this is way out in the it's basically out in the countryside. You have to drive there. You're not going to escape on foot. There's
and
no way.
One sees him. No one sees him.
This is broad fucking daylight. They are going to catch you if you try to escape on foot. He can't have brought another vehicle with him, so that definitely makes no sense. Like, in terms of just the logistics of that's ridiculous.
The kid is like this tiny little wheel clipper. He's trying to steal like car wheels, and then he's going like, "Well, I was trying to dismember the head, and I was trying to dismember the hand." I went, "Fucking hell, you leveled up, didn't you? You went from normal kid to a guy perfectly fine, cutting up a body."
Oh yeah, and then the kid,
well, he had trouble cutting up the body. Come on now.
Yeah, but he was like going, "Well, I'm trying a neck, but that didn't work," and then I went for the finger. And it's like, it feels more like a butcher trying to order the wrong food.
There's problems with the character. There's problems with the characterization as well. So he's so fucking incompetent. He can't even steal the hubcaps off a car, but he's able to perform this difficult operation of driving a car with a body in the trunk, which he has dismembered himself and scrawled the right message on it. He's able to drive this car into the Falcone estate with no questions asked, like without anybody catching him. Like, you would need to be a very advanced, very experienced gangster to be able to pull that off. And that's without even getting into the the investigation of it all. The Falcones, the first thing they're going to do is hire a PI. It's going to be a really experienced guy. It's going to be a private detective with 30 years experience. He's going to come in. He's going to forensics the whole car. He's going to investigate, and he's going to find out what happened.
What I like is this was supposed to be the positive. And I've just come in.
The show is really well liked. So
I will say
a discussion of like why people are enjoying it so much. I
will say it's not a terrible show. It's got good bits in it. Colin Farrell's amazing. His prosthetics are fantastic. It's just I'm thinking proper like a gangster show, and it's because it's the Penguin. I think people overlook the gangster parts of it. Like, these people wouldn't do this in a real mob.
Yeah, and I would totally agree with that, because I find in a lot of things that over the past few years that I've looked on fondly, like even like Spider-Man No Way Home and Deadpool and Wolverine and the Penguin and the Batman, like the things that I'm enjoying, I can overlook contrivance and convenience and plots if the characters are really entertaining and the performances are great. And that is definitely something that you can say about the show, is that the performances are top notch. Yeah. Like Sophia, the character as a villain, is fucking fun to watch. She's great. And then
dialogue as well. Wonderful dialogue. Really well written.
Great. And like you said, Reaper, like Colin Farrell's performance is fucking stellar. It's fantastic performance. And I think that makes up for a lot of things. Often
he sleeps in a safe on the second floor, and I'm like, how did you build that? And how doesn't it collapse through the bottom floors? he like the entire room is a bank vault. He sleeps in a vault.
They can do that. There's organizations that can do that. They have to reinforce the wall beneath the area that you put the safe in. But you
imagine that he goes downstairs to his neighbors going, "Excuse me, I'm building a vault upstairs. Do you mind if I reinforce the ceiling?"
RRTNZ, our good friend, for New Zealand $10. Thank you, sir. Nice to be able to listen in live for once. Penguin has some logic flaws, but still better written than the Batman. Sorry, me. Yeah, I know. I'm a big Batman apologist. I'm a big apologist of the Batman. I like that.
Well, we're gonna have another argument now.
Well, yeah, we can do a Batman specific stream if you want, and we can just.
He's
You're already on one of those. You're already on one of those. You're not cutting into my rewatchability on my channel because you want to have one here.
I still can't believe the Riddler is a Redditor.
Yeah, he is.
That's the fucking. I lost faith in that film after that.
Yeah, the fourth act is where it falls apart. I'm not going to argue against that. It's another, like I said, it's another one of those situations where the performances and all of the other aspects of filmmaking come together for me.
I like the chase scene. Really good.
Yeah. Even though that's also logically, it's fucking stupid. Like, why?
Yeah.
the aftermath of that, there is no aftermath of that chase scene. Yeah, but the cinematography in that film is just like off the charts. I think we often, Bagface, my video editor, when we bring him on, he likes to always remind us that films are also a visual medium, and that is a super important part of it. And we always focus on writing, but it is a beautiful looking movie, and so is this show.
Every time he has a wrong opinion, put a bag over his head.
To finish his super chat, the dark sleeps with a nightlight because it's afraid of Chuck Norris.
Yeah, I was about to say, I was about to give RRT and Zed a $5 refund if you didn't read the rest of this.
Get it.
Do I have any more here that are specific to? I have a couple that are like mob specific. They're related, so it's
Night King 01 for $10. Stranger things have happened in real life, Reaper. John Gotti killed a made man and got a pass because he made money. And Carmine the Snake, guess where he got that name from? And he became a boss.
Like a
boss.
Like a boss.
True, like it's all about how it's done. And he's too in a weakened position, and he's too hated by everyone. And he's already
in a weakened position because you just argued that he was in a top tier position.
He's a capo, but he's losing his control over his drug sector because it's being moved somewhere else. So he's losing his influence in the drug trade, and as he's transporting it, it gets robbed. So it's like that's very suspicious, and everyone hates him in the organization.
Everyone does hate him, yeah.
He is like a capo. He's got to be a capo. He's in charge of like a giant drug manufacturing distribution center.
I'll read this one too. Night King 01 again for $5. If we're comparing to The Sopranos, it doesn't fit. Sopranos' whole premise with Dr. Melfi would never happen. Real mobsters have said he would be gone.
Oh yeah, some of them have gone in secret, and he only revealed it later. But if you got found out you were spilling secrets to a psychologist, you'd be dead. And that is spot on. But he is the head of family, so it's one of those things where it's one of those things you tolerate because he's so powerful in the organization.
Mega Spidey Man for $2 fake bucks. To all, favorite version of Gotham and why that? My personal one is Gotham is like a living thing in the Batman. It's beautiful. Other than that, I would say the Batman the Animated Series is a close.
I didn't even think of that. I was actually just going through the movies. I didn't think of the cartoons.
Yeah, animated series, amazing.
Yeah, the animated series.
Platoon, are you still with us, by the way?
Yes, yeah, but I have not seen the Penguin.
You haven't seen it?
No, I have not. I've actually not seen, I don't think, anything else on our docket today, so I can, I'm just having a nap.
But do you have a favorite Gotham City?
No. I do. No, I'm just no. I just
favorite Gotham City. I don't know, Soho. I'm not sure.
Yeah, just fucking Birmingham. It's kind of like crime ridden. Yeah, no, I'm not sufficiently familiar with any of the various adaptations, so I don't have a favorite.
Reaper. I know you were saying.
Was I saying something?
Yeah,
you said animated series.
Oh, you said animated.
Oh yeah, animated series. Yeah.
Despot.
I do like the depiction of Gotham in the original Tim Burton Batman movie. You know, the part where the Joker is on his float and he starts throwing money everywhere and everybody's going nuts to get the money and then he gasses them. That's really good because that really gets to the greedy, soulless heart of Gotham. I really enjoyed that.
The thing I loved,
and the aesthetic as well. I loved the Tim Burton aesthetic. I think that suited Gotham really well.
On my channel, we did actually do that Batman movie, and one of the things that I love about it is just the inefficiency of the design of it, because that's what I always kind of perceive Gotham as being, just something that slowly just got overdeveloped. So the roadways don't make sense. There's like really dumb ventilation systems and all the buildings, which have Gothic architecture that doesn't make sense for where it's located, because it's supposed to be in. It's actually supposed to be in where Atlantic City, New Jersey is. So it doesn't make any sense for Gothic architecture to be there. And so I've always loved that it's like this own, like kind of what Cynic just said. It's like living, it's its own character. It's a great thing.
Yeah.
You know what I loved about Gotham and the Tim Burton and then the Joel Schumacher movies was, like, speaking of Rings of Power, where the city looked completely different between season 1 and 2. Like, holy fuck, Gotham looked different all the time.
Well, they turned it into a rave in I think it was Batman Forever was
Batman
where they really
Forever. Yeah.
And then by Batman and Robin, or maybe it was Forever again. I think like all the Tommy guns had like
they had
glow
fucking
sticks attached to
RGB
them.
lights and shit attached to it. Yeah.
What is wrong?
There's nobody gonna give any love to the Batgirl TV series.
I don't even know what it would have looked like in that. I haven't seen enough pictures. I just saw the few pictures that they released.
Did anybody watch that? The Batgirl show, the CW Batgirl show?
The Batgirl
seasons. It had 2 seasons, right?
Oh no, was it Batgirl or Batwoman? Was it Batwoman?
Yeah,
Batwoman. Sorry, that was just my misogyny.
It got like 5 whole seasons though. Like it kept going. I've only watched it via EFAP though, so that's like my only familiarity with Batwoman.
One of my favorite drinker videos is he did he did a video about production of season 1, which is apparently an absolute shit show. Fuck yeah, I must watch some of that show. That was before my time, but yeah,
same.
Well, I still need to go back and watch The Sopranos. So I think you're okay.
I
haven't seen The Sopranos either, but
shit. Well,
no one's seen The Sopranos.
Chat needs to give you shit too. I
Why?
saw chat giving me
wrong
shit.
with you guys? I wish I had the power to kick you all out. I do have the power.
You know what? I haven't watched one fucking thing of Game of Thrones either. So how do you like that?
I can't watch it anymore. No one can watch it anymore.
I've just removed him
because they fucked it up so badly that you can't watch it because oh my god, this is all just going to end in season 8.
I stupidly did that last week while I was sick. I thought I need something to binge watch while I'm like painfully editing. So I start Game of Thrones on from season 1, just in the background. I'd forgotten how good like season 1 to 3 are, and then season 4 is like, no, it's still quite good. Then Tywin dies, and then season 5 is pretty much very rapidly downhill, but then it just jumps off a cliff when it comes to season 8. So I think I left it around season 7, episode 2, because I just know what's coming, and it was already painful by that point, to be fair.
Night King 01 for $2. Neo Gotham from Batman Beyond is awesome.
That's very similar to the Schumacher version of Batman, as of Gotham, the Schumacher movies, where it's like very futuristic and stuff.
Well, why don't we? I have to go and see Joker here pretty soon. I got an early preview, so why don't we do the last?
He also said Gotham by Gaslight is in the night.
Oh yes, yeah. Night King 01 for another $2. Thanks, man. Also Gotham by Gaslight, where it's 19th century. Yeah, that underrated. That's a fucking excellent one.
Hold on, let me. Where is it? Is this it? Nope. Hold on. I have a good slide for this. I just have to find the damn thing. I'm trying to do it from down here. Yeah, whatever. I'll just put it up and then we'll go through it.
Wrong direction.
There we go.
Not wrong direction.
What the fuck? Hey, you made me see this shit. Did you not read my
no,
text? I was like, I'm gonna make you made me look at fucking Shia LaBeouf and drag. I'm gonna make everybody look at Shia LaBeouf and drag.
Oh,
did anyone catch that line? He says revenge is best served in a dress.
No, it's best. It tastes best in a dress. The only reason that was the last line I heard before I stopped watching the damn movie.
Oh god.
Oh, it was awful.
Yeah, that's right, chat. I see you all freaking out. This is you can all blame Cynic for this one because I'm making you all see it now.
Yeah,
I only
this is actually this is entirely your fault, Dark Hour. You messaged me and said, "Are we going to talk about Megalopolis?" I was like,
Yeah, and right there, you could have easily been like, "Nah, we don't need to talk about that. You don't have to see the ridiculousness."
When a movie is so good, we're now fighting over who gets blamed for making everybody
It's
else
all
actually
his
watch
fault,
it.
and I am not going to accept the blame. I think it's actually Francis Ford Coppola's fault.
Yeah, well, just FYI, everyone who hasn't caught on, this movie fucking sucks. This one is a piece of shit.
And I'm not taking down this slide. It's staying up the whole time we're talking. The whole damn time.
To be fair, though, I did say I did an out of theater reaction. I've only done this twice because movies were so bad I had to do it. Like, sitting in your car, that type of out of theater reaction. And I did say that it was, I think it's Madam Web level bad, where it's so bad it was good because
might be worse.
But I was fucking laughing throughout the entire film.
The reason, here's my justification here, Cynic, is, and I had a couple people ask me like, "Oh, is it worse than this?" Madam Web was one of them. Another one, what was the other one? Was it as
The Crow?
The Crow.
I didn't see The Crow. Was it? But there was all of these terrible movies. At least I knew what the fuck I was watching. Like, there was a plot that I was able to follow. It was a shit plot in all of them. This, I have no idea what the hell is going on from start to finish. It is random scene, voiceover by Lawrence Fishburne, random scene that's barely connected, something about some vested virgin pop star who actually they try to turn into like a grape storyline. And then it turns out she's 23. She's not 16. And I'm like, I didn't even realize she was supposed to be 16. Now, what is that? And
I didn't even know she was supposed to be underage. What the
I didn't know. Like, you didn't set up for the underage plot. And then all of a sudden, now she's like a hypersexualized pop star who's like giving it. It's what is going on? And I only got an hour into this piece of shit. I didn't even get to the second hour. I have to go back and find out what the hell happens.
Worse.
It's so much worse, man. You didn't even make it to the part where, spoilers, everyone, because I'm sure you're all very concerned, where the main character, played by Adam Driver, gets shot in the face. You didn't even get to that point.
Probably one of the few things that can improve.
And you definitely didn't make it to the part where he goes, "What do you think about my boner?" You didn't get to that part.
If that's in there, that's 100% going in my videos in the future. I'm clipping the shit out of that. But
John Voight pulls out a tiny bow and arrow and starts killing people.
You ever see?
I will say this: John Voight is good in this movie. If there's one silver lining, it's John Voight in this movie, because he
pulls out. It's like a kid's bow and arrow. It's something you would give a kid, and he somehow shoots Aubrey Plaza right in the chest and kills her. And I just went, "What the fuck is going on?"
He had that Call of Duty zombie insta kill, bro.
I think he was legitimately. So he's supposed to be playing like a really hedonistic character. I think he was legitimately drunk for every single one of the takes, because that's the only explanation for how he's doing it so well. Like you can usually tell when someone's pretending to be drunk. He legitimately looks drunk.
Should we actually try and explain the plot here?
Please do, because I have no idea what's going on.
About the Boomer Mind. It's Francis Ford Coppola's Boomer Mind, his thoughts and his fears, because you've got basically the nuclear menace, the Red Scare, in the form of a Russian satellite. And you had that phase.
Which they call Carpathia, I believe, right? Or Carthage.
Well, yeah, he's got this stupid Rome shit. And then, that sexual allegation with the 15-year-old you were just saying?
Yeah, the vested
Francis Ford Coppola had a sexual allegation conduct. And I think this is just random shit from his life that he's repackaged in some fucking weird film. That's why it's all random. He's had a sexual assault allegation. He was scared of a nuclear war. He has the Trump Nazi allegory later on.
That was so fucking annoying, dude.
And he says, "I made this to fight fascism." And you're like, "What the fuck are you talking? What fascist? What the fuck are you talking about?" And then it's like the banker crashes at the end, has to give up all his wealth to be a good person, which is a fuck the rich thing he used to have when he was a kid. And I think that's what it is. It's just his fragmented boomer mind just throwing whatever shit he can at the wall.
I think you might be onto something, because I tried to do research on this, like what little I could find that wasn't insane ramblings.
Therapy.
But yeah, therapy. So apparently the original concepts for this date back to the 70s. So it probably is just random shit from his life that has been accumulated, and that's why it seems like that.
And he still cares about some of this shit. Like he's still holding on to that stuff. Like 50
the
years
nuclear
later.
Soviet war is over, and literally a Russian satellite, nuclear powered, bombs the city. It's literally over his head, is what they used to say.
God,
I think I think it's just his fucking random trauma dumping, as that comment said, for fucking 85 years of it. So it's this fucking mad boomer just dropping all his fucking problems on us.
There's a fucking reason why no one wanted to pay for this except him. Because it's absolutely it's fucking ridiculous.
That shit insane is what it is.
The whole fucking concept too, which is Adam Driver's character is basically building a utopia. And
so I'm gonna go back to being a producer now. I'm done.
And ranting. You can rant about it. You watch this piece of shit. You need to join too in this hate fest. So essentially, the utopia is kind of like this Pandora's box because you really don't know what it is. But every time you see it, it's just this shitty fucking sci-fi channel level CGI escalator that roams around. Like there's a point in the fucking movie where he's showing off this new invention. He's like, come here, step on it. Aha, look at this tremendous fucking creation. It's a fucking escalator. It's the one that you walk on in the fucking airport because you're too fucking fat or lazy. Like,
and don't forget, Cynic, he randomly can stop time. He can stop time for no reason whatsoever. He just has the power to stop time.
And when and every character is so goddamn insufferable. When he got shot in the face, I busted out laughing.
But his stopping time is him being creative with his art. And when he gets the sexual assault allegation, he suddenly can't stop time, which is clearly his creativity is being cooked by the allegation. That's what I think it is. And he himself has got under sexual assault allegations. And I think that is just him going back to the past of his own life saying, oh, I can't create with all these horrible allegations on me.
I think the Reaper has made it very evident that Francis Ford Coppola was probably a piece of shit.
I think he might have been.
Yeah.
Also, do you think Chris Stuckman will be reviewing this?
I think Chris Stuckman's going to love this movie for some reason.
Megalopolis is a film written, produced, and directed by Francis Ford Coppola.
How much money do you think this loses? Because what is it? I think
all of it.
Well, I think 120 million was spent on it, right? Like the actual budget, and that was right out of Francis Ford Coppola's like bank account.
What a waste!
Yeah, and it had an opening week, not weekend, an opening week. So far $4 million. Like, what is at least this is one of those situations where it's somebody tried to put their money where their mouth is, and now their mouth is going to be probably permanently shut.
There is no way that 30 years from now this movie's looked on fondly like everyone got it wrong.
Hold on.
No,
we are
right.
Yeah, there you go. That Matt for $1.99.
Right no,
you think this movie could be a cult hit in 30 years? I don't think this movie could be a cult hit in 300 years.
Only in a Madam Web level way. That's how fucking bad this is. This is a blight on his career. It's a piece of shit.
This may tank several of these people's careers. Like a lot of them are on the back nine anyway, or in some cases,
Adam Driver. He needs to fire his agent. Adam Driver has been nothing but shit for about 5 years.
He said this was the best. It was the best directing he's ever received because he wasn't hamstrung by a fucking studio. My ass. This was terrible.
What was the ending? The ending, because the whole thing is about Rome collapsing and America is a new Rome collapsing. Right. And his fucking solution is, we just need to have a dialogue. We just need to talk to each other. And you're like, fuck right off. That wouldn't solve anything.
That's all just reverse engineering the term that America was the fourth Rome, because there's always there's Rome, there's second Rome, which was Eastern Roman Empire, and then there was the Holy Roman Empire, there was Russia. America was just the next one. So that's all, they're just reverse engineering that term.
It's just the backstory for the Omen at that point.
Yeah,
that's all the prophecy that comes out. You can do that. I mean, it's a very that's an adolescent kind of understanding of the world, and you can do it though without having to go. I mean, I've not seen the movie, so I can't comment on the specifics, but just by naming everyone Caesar this and Cicero that, and you've got a space satellite called Carthage, and it's like that's not even, well, I guess it's not even trying to be subtle, but like if you're going to take that as your thematic point that America is a fourth Rome and it's collapsing in a similar way, and the solution to it is everyone being nice to each other and having dialogue about utopia, probably not dressing it up as actual Rome in a vaguely futuristic sense would be a way to go about it. Like you can make it more relevant to the topic by making it more relevant to the topic rather than abstracting it into this what sounds like an incredibly overwrought vision about utopias.
And they have such on the nose metaphors. Like you have Lady Justice falling over, and then woman has to go out and say, there's injustice everywhere. Like they couldn't trust you to understand that metaphor. Like he keeps looking back at Rome, and then the next scene is what's her face, the brown woman. She says, "You're a man." I've got the quote here. It says, "You're a man of the future who is obsessed with the past." Who the fuck says that in casual conversation?
There's also another like hyper on the nose situation where he's been accused of and has been let off for killing his wife or whatever, and he goes, I didn't even fucking understand this. Like he goes in, I'm like, okay, she's seeing what's really happening, and you basically see his vision. He's like leaning down and trying to tend to his wife or whatever. And the woman who becomes his love interest, she leans in and she goes, she has to say for the audience's sake, he still loves her. No fucking shit.
That was, what was it? That part and the one that Reaper just mentioned, where like all the random statues that were, I'm assuming only we can see this happening. I don't know what the fuck's going on, are like falling over.
Driver seems to see it.
Yeah, like falling over, like onto buildings, like and it's like, and then I'm like, I literally was like, I could, folding laundry would be more productive use of my time right now. Like,
did you watch this?
Yeah, I watched it.
What did you think?
I think he's just enjoying our rants. I think that's what's going on.
Yeah, I liked it. I think it's a good movie.
You're lying.
That's a lie.
I'm not. I genuinely enjoyed it.
What did you like about it?
You can't be. You're shitting me. On the echo chamber just this past week. You went on this huge rant about these like hype. What is it? What did you say? They were like college level writing, and I thought you were gonna say that that's what this was. Like the whole thing.
This feels to me like what a kind of film studies movie would look like with a good director and a big budget. There are aspects of it that are absolutely shockingly dreadful, and there are parts of it that I genuinely like. Some of it's well delivered and a lot of it's hammy. It's very hodgepodge, but there's aspects that I like, and I didn't think that it was anywhere near as impenetrable as a lot of people have made it out to be. And parts of it I thought were genuinely good. I thought Shia LaBeouf was very funny in it. He was very over the top. For a movie this ridiculous, you absolutely have to ham it up. Like, you have to be what you're looking at, like Shia LaBeouf in this ridiculous, disgustingly gaudy Roman dress.
Yeah, it's staying up there still. It's still.
I mean, I like this. The movie is just batshit all over the place, and it really leans very heavily into that. And I saw a movie recently that tried that. Babylon. Has anybody ever heard of Babylon?
I've heard of it. I never watched it.
Okay, so Babylon is fucking dreadful.
Yeah, I heard
it is terrible. I could not get through 20 minutes of it, and I really tried. It was made by the same guy who did Whiplash, and Whiplash was great. And then he did La La Land, which I thought was okay, like it's an acquired taste. But that director, I think the guy who did Whiplash, ultimately turned out to be a bit of a disappointment. Can't even remember his name. But Babylon was fucking terrible, massively overindulgent, because it was trying to be over the top and crazy and insane, but at the same time, it was also trying to be serious, and it just didn't work. If you're going to go over the top and crazy, you need to do it like Megalopolis, because Megalopolis, Francis Ford Coppola gave the actors a lot of license and told them to improvise. And for that reason, parts of it really work and parts of it don't. Like, there's a scene where Adam Driver, out of nowhere, goes into Hamlet's to be or not to be monologue.
It's right in the beginning, actually.
Yeah, I guess that's probably improvised, because when an actor is improvising, they're probably just going to land on aspects of their acting career, like stuff that they know, that the great to be or not to be speech, which many actors will know anyway, even if they haven't played Hamlet, just from acting classes. And I would guess that was what was going on there, and it didn't really land. It just sort of stuck out like a sore thumb, especially since it's surrounded by this sort of stodgy dialogue. But I mean, what I liked about the movie was just how absolutely all over the place batshit it was. And there's a scene where the Vestal Virgin, she sings a song about how pure she is and how she promises that she's going to be good and she's going to keep her chastity for the sake of Rome. And then immediately afterwards, she's exposed as a hypocrite and a liar, although it later turns out that that's fake. And I thought that was nicely delivered. The song was absolutely terrible, and I would guess that was deliberate. I would guess that was deliberate because it was almost like making fun of this really dumb, stupid teenage pop music.
Are you sure?
And then
Are you sure it just wasn't like just all?
I don't know. That's the thing. I don't know how much of this was sincere and how much of it was parody.
Yeah.
I definitely think that Adam Driver is a self-insert for Francis Ford Coppola, because think about it. Francis Ford Coppola wants to make this movie basically since the 80s, so he's been wanting to make this for 40 years. And the main dream of Adam Driver in this movie, that character, Caesar wants to create this masterpiece city, this beautiful city that's going to be amazing and weird and crazy and all over the place. And the city is obviously a metaphor for the movie itself, and Adam Driver is a self-insert of Francis Ford Coppola. And Francis Ford Coppola clearly thinks of himself as a man of the future, since Caesar here is supposed to represent the civilization looking forward to the future. And the guy from Breaking Bad, what's his name? Esposito.
Yeah,
Giancarlo.
Giancarlo Esposito represents, the backward, looking back to the past. A lot of it is too hammy. I don't think it's a great movie by any means. There's simply too much wrong with it. But I don't think it's as terrible as a lot of people have gotten on. I mean, the plot basically is it's an architect who wants to build a big, new, beautiful city, which is a metaphor for the movie itself. And I would guess
that was not a beautiful city.
No.
It was
hideous. The CGI is astoundingly awful, but I like that.
That's what the film is. The film's ugly by the end of the film.
I like the gaudiness. I like the gaudiness and the hideousness of the CGI because it stands out and it's unique in its own disgusting way. It's grotesque. I quite like grotesque art.
You ever see Sliders in the 90s?
Sliders, like mini hamburgers?
Oh no, it was a sci-fi show, and it had the CGI at $120 million budget looks like that show.
Yeah, I love the CGI in this because it's so fucking hideous. It's grotesquely bad. And I enjoy that. I enjoy it. It really suits the aesthetic. I don't know if that's deliberate.
Is the city at the end supposed to be, because I get the impression the city at the end is supposed to be this idealized utopian vision, like that is everyone's best laid plans come together, right? It's not a failure when the city
in the end, the guy Esposito, who represents the backward looking super conservative type, he embraces the new city at the end, and there's this really kind of gaudy, hammy, cheesy ending, which I'm not sure I like, to be perfectly honest.
But then it sounds like it was probably not deliberately ugly looking, because there's always a problem when it comes to describing utopias. Like Orwell points this out in a number of essays, and people have made the point of the Bible as well, which is that you can have 5,000 pages of Dante describing hell, but no one can describe heaven for more than a page, because heaven is fundamentally not interesting and no one can imagine perfection. So if you get his sort of St. Augustine city of God style complex, where he's the one sitting at the end of this collapsing empire envisaging this perfect future, he's actually not able to deliver on screen an image of his perfect future, because perfect futures don't exist. So if the film is striving to say, this is the thing we can build if we put aside the past disputes and we all come together to focus in dialogue on the future and we compromise, this is the beatific vision. It looks ugly because there's no actual substance there, it sounds like. You can't imagine that, and he can't imagine that. So he's used CGI to try and give this very pat version of a utopia, which can't ever be visualized more satisfyingly than that. So, I mean, that would make it sound like, again, not having seen the film, it was not a deliberate attempt to make it look ugly, but rather every time you look at the future in someone's mind, it will be ugly to somebody else.
That's a conversation they have in the movie.
Everyone.
It's a hideous movie. But there's a conversation, they're sitting around a table and they're discussing the nature of utopia in it. And Orwell actually came to mind because I was thinking, they make that point that utopia, I think one of the lines in it is all utopias become a dystopia. And they then Adam Driver says something to the effect of, the best thing that we can hope for in a utopia is simply to agree that everyone should be able to speak their own mind, and no one should be vilified for their opinion. It's a very kind of hammy attempt to hammer home the message that America needs to unify under the idea that pluralism is ultimately a good thing, and that the political extremes to which Americans have been pushed over the past couple of decades, is a bad thing. It's going to lead to dystopia.
But how does he do the Trump figure? They murder him.
Yeah.
You're talking about
their red hats. We've been
the red hats murder him. They killed Trump.
Yeah,
he's like, we just need to get together.
Very all over the place. You've got that message, and then at the same time, you have this hammy Trump metaphor. Basically, I like crazy mad shit. Like I like a lot of David Lynch. David Lynch does this way better than obviously Francis Ford Coppola can. There's elements of this that I like. In terms of the characters, the only character I didn't like was Dustin Hoffman. I thought he was fucking terrible. I
couldn't even hear a word he was saying.
His voice was so husky, like you can't really hear him. His voice is gone. He's too husky. I didn't understand his dialogue, and he's phoning it right the fuck in. He shouldn't have been in the movie. He was awful. The rest of them were really good, though. I think every other performance, the performance really showed up, and they gave it their all. Adam Driver's trying his ass off. Like, I mean, say what you want about the movie itself, but he is really fucking trying. And some of the more bizarre, it's just fucking super surreal scenes.
Are you on about that with the hands all behind him?
With
I was like, what the fuck is this?
With the hideous CGI, they were enjoyable enough. I thought that visually they looked something between grotesque and entertaining. But overall, I enjoyed it as a watching experience. I just sort of chilled out and let the movie wash over me, and I genuinely enjoyed watching it. This wasn't, and I do have high standards when it comes to watching stuff. Like I said, I've been bored out of my fucking mind watching like Borderlands. Borderlands is the worst movie I've seen this year. Borderlands was horrendous. I was bored to fucking death every single minute of that movie. Same with the Planet of the Apes movie. I can't even remember what it was called. I was so fucking bored. But there was a lot to think about. There was so much visual imagery and metaphor and symbolism that there's constantly things to think about. But ultimately, I don't think it's a great movie. It lands somewhere in between the two extremes of the people who are saying that it's absolutely terrible and other people that are saying that it's a total masterpiece. No, it lands somewhere in between those two. There's plenty wrong with this, but I don't think it's anywhere near as bad. And there are things to like if you just embrace the sheer insanity of it.
I'm more interested in seeing it now at this point, because it was one of the things that made me slightly interested in seeing it is that I would rather someone's mad vision, which they've clearly put some thought into, was misguided and wacky and wrong, but at least tried to be interesting and thoughtful and new, than watching Marvel film number 567 doing what Marvel film numbers 1 through 566 have already done and making a huge amount of money based on paint by numbers. Like, it sounds like a more interesting attempt at a film than most films that currently make money, which is depressing. But that doesn't automatically make it good. That makes it an interesting proposition. Interesting propositions can fall flat, which it sounds like this one may have done, because it's unfocused or it's not as deep as perhaps it thinks it is. But it's still attempting to give you something to think about. Give me more of Megalopolis over anything else.
I was absolutely entertained. That's why I was saying even in my out of theater reaction, I was like, I don't know yet, but this might be like Madam Web, where that was so bad to me. It was great. And I fucking loved it. I might watch it again.
There you go. Now it's bigger. The wall just got 5 feet taller. Okay.
I'll say for Madam Web doesn't think it's profound, whereas this sounds like it thinks it's profound.
Which makes it even funnier when it's bad.
There we go. Okay.
Well, the only thing I thought is, why the fuck did I buy a ticket?
Some of the musical cues are too cliched. So, for example, it does my head in when they use musical cues. So Beethoven's Seventh comes in. You know the part that goes bum 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 bum. Beethoven's Seventh. It's a very famous melody. I'm not much of a singer, sorry guys, but that's too cliched. You need to use something a bit more original. And there was another one. It's a song that has been used in a billion fucking movies. It was a scene that I was quite enjoying. It's Adam Driver and the mixed race chick from Game of Thrones, and they're in bed, and there's a globe hovering over them, and that was really enjoyable. I was getting into that, thinking, okay, well, what's the visual symbolism? What's he trying to say here? And then this horrible, what's that song? What a difference a day makes. You know, what a difference a day makes. And you've heard it.
I need to hear more of it, Despot. You have to go a little further.
You've heard it a billion times in a billion movies, and it's like,
yes,
no,
but I've never heard you sing it. That's the difference.
I want something different. Do a different musical cue. So some of the musical cues were really cliched and kind of ruined scenes that otherwise would have been interesting. And I know that's a bizarre minor criticism, but it's a fuck me. Very few people are gonna like this. Very few people. Most people who see this will fucking despise it.
Yep,
I know that for a fact.
Okay.
Even though I quite enjoyed it, and I do like that he's trying something different. You know, Platoon made a very good point. I appreciate that he's trying something different because the worst aspect of Hollywood right now is the complete death of innovation. At least he's trying to innovate. Even though he's a million years old, he's still trying to do something new and interesting. And that's something that Hollywood are just allergic to. And I'm so sick of going to the cinema and seeing the same bollocks every fucking time.
I do have one question about this. So the one, and you pointed it out, but there's the one storyline is that you have I think if I recall correctly, her name was like Vesta Sweetwater. She's supposed to be a vested virgin, like allegory. Really, really well done with the name. And you know, they like doctor up, essentially like deep fake a sex tape between, she's supposed to be 16 and him to ruin this huge party and all this stuff. And you know, then they bring him up on charges. They find her real birth certificate, but she should be aware that this isn't real. She should be aware that it's doctored. But she immediately embraces this like counter to her culture, like, you know, now I'm the slut pop star, like out in like a day. And it doesn't. I was trying to make sense of that, and maybe I missed something. If there was anything to miss,
it was Coppola's comment on Britney Spears' career.
That's the only.
I would guess it's another one of his, because there were parts of that I liked and didn't. I liked how bad the song was, and then it's exposed as this big dumb hypocritical thing. It kind of parodies the song, but then he did kind of ruin it with that, because I mean, she's lying. She's not 16. She's 23. So there's that aspect of it. And you could also argue, well, she's just doing it for the money. But at the same time, just wait for the facts to come out and you'll be okay. But yeah, I think it's partly maybe he's commenting on Britney Spears' career, but I think also he's trying to point out the hypocrisy of society, and that we have these high moral standards, and we elevate public figures in our minds as people who follow these moral standards, and then they obviously don't, because they're human beings like everybody else, and they go on the same coke binges and they fuck the same hookers. So I think that's kind of what he was going for. It was a very hammy message of sort of the hypocrisy of high society. That's what I was getting from it.
It also sounds like it's not profound or insightful enough to be worthy of its inclusion in a film which has something to say. Because I mean, I've seen that plotline play out in South Park episodes. South Park did the Britney Spears thing about 15 years ago. Like that's not a new observation. And if what you're doing is you're trying to make a film which has quite a cutting critique of modern society, burdening your film with various subplots, which are just observations everybody else has already made over the span of many decades because they're so well known, kind of sounds like it's going to distract from the main point of your film. It's going to sort of make the whole thing seem quite diffuse and also a bit more banal than it evidently wants to be. Because, like, okay, shocking, celebrities don't uphold the standards they're marketed as. That's news to literally no one older than 5 years old. Why bother having it in the movie? Why not focus on something new that you have to say?
Well, the one I just pulled up, they do actually show her, like, have her birth certificate. That was probably one of the funniest scenes in the actual thing, because like they bring it to the mayor, who's like the main villain, so to say, and he goes like, "Ah, yes," and rips it, and then she's just like, "I can get another copy, right?" Like that was actually kind of funny, because it's like, yes, just tearing up the one document that I had printed doesn't stop that. And I always find that funny in movies. It's like, yes, there's digital copies of things, but I do think we need to get to some super chats, because Cynic needs to go see Joker.
I gotta go see Joker. Yeah,
so.
I'm dreading that.
How do you get such early tickets?
I live in a major U.S. city, so they have.
And I live in a shithole.
Well, they have one showing early, and that's the one I got to make it to. Otherwise, I have to wait till the weekend.
I'll just go in order here.
Lock for $10. I've wanted to catch the stream live for so long. Wonder how many hours I've watched Little Platoon. Great group. Dark Hour. I just saw about your past 2 years, and it's always cool to see you. Love your videos.
Thank you. This was the one that I had saved because I thought it would be a good topic, but now it's just going to become like a quick thing.
Platoon, you want to read that one again?
I can. Let's see if my voice holds up. Toivo Korhonen for 50 euros. Thank you very much there. Hello, BSUP. You have these 3 actors and these 3 roles. You do the casting. Actors can be of any age. Actors, Warwick Davis, Samuel L. Jackson, Judi Dench. Roles, sorry, no, actors are Warwick Davis, Samuel L. Jackson, and Judi Dench. Roles, villain of Fast and Furious 20, voice actor for lesbian R2-D2, and Sherlock Holmes.
Judi Dench is Sherlock Holmes.
Samuel L. Jackson as a lesbian R2-D2.
Yes, and Warwick Davis, villain of Fast and Furious 20.
He's got to be the villain. He's definitely got to be the villain.
Yeah,
he's got to have like a little tiny go-kart too. It's got to be like just this obnoxiously fast, like almost like a Mario Kart. It shoots shells. It'd be great.
Would Warwick Davis be on a Segway on Fast and the Furious? Just a nitrous Segway.
No, he's in like a little like kids go-kart or something.
He's in a Mario Kart situation.
Yeah, he's in a Mario Kart. He throws banana peels. It's the whole shebang.
Cooper Trooper. TGV Monster for $2. Hi, Platoon, Cynic, Reaper, and Despot, and Dark Hour. Howdy.
Hey, TGV Monster.
Let's do my favorite name nowadays.
Richard Shaft for 11 fake bucks. They're going by all witch fairy tales. The house with wine is Hansel and Gretel with the candy house. The road is Oz. I did call it the Yellow Brick Road in my review. At some point, they're going to have Agatha dance and hit iron shoes for Snow White.
I missed that one before. I think I'm sorry that didn't get in with the Agatha talk.
Oh, it's all good.
I hope they get to the gingerbread house and burnt alive.
I guess I'll take this one. Mark Kelly for £2. Why does Dark Hour got a picture of Eric? What's the
Morecambe?
Morecambe. I'm guessing that they mean my Saint Danny DeVito, the patron saint of New Jersey. Or I mean that's Platoon and Cynic, so it can't be them. But yeah, that's Danny DeVito. So.
Mm-hmm.
But thank you for that.
TGV Monster for $5 more. Thank you. Looking forward to Nosferatu. Should have been a Halloween movie. I'm a sucker for old Victorian horror movies, and from the trailer, it looks good. Yeah, I hope it's good too. What was the last? There was, I can't even remember. I've seen so many fucking movies the past year. There was a movie with Dracula on a boat, and I completely forgot what it was called. But I went and saw it, and it was a major disappointment. So hopefully this one's good. Dracula on a boat. That's what it was called, probably. Dracula on a boat.
Sounds like a porno.
Kevo for $5. Someone hoped my dog would die when I was arguing with psychos in the comments of Cynic's Kong video. These people are very unwell. Yeah, I was saying that. I was saying these, I don't know which fan base is crazier and more wild, Transformers or Godzilla fans. I don't know. It's a coin toss. This one's for you, Platoon.
Larry for $5. That little Platoon. Thank you for finally finishing Rings of Power Season 1. Your Rings of Power coverage is how I found all you nerds. I have not. There is one more video on Rings of Power Season 1. That's going to be out next weekend. I split this one because it was going to be very long. So yes, it will be finished this coming weekend.
Is the next one also 5+ hours?
No, it shouldn't be anyway. There's only 2 episodes. And I'm going to keep the outro relatively small, given it's not really an outro. It's just a prelude to Season 2.
Gotcha. Campbell Patterson for an S, $5. I tried asking this last time, but I'll say it again. Would you rather rewatch Acolyte, Rings of Power, or tattoo your ass with a chainsaw?
Acolyte. It was very funny.
Yeah, Acolyte was funny
to
make
shortest one, so least suffering.
I enjoyed tearing apart Acolyte so much that I am on both there's the 2 lists. There's the renew the list. I'm on that list. If you go find my name, and then I'm also on the decanonized list. I would like them to release a second season, but it not to be canon. I would love that, and they just keep doing that forever. So.
Just turn it into like a what if version of Star Wars. If Star Wars was really, really shit, and then we can go back to actual Star Wars.
Yeah, that's actually what's going on anyway.
John Gates for $5. As the stench of a flushed turd lingers in the air, rings of power will remain for 1 week, even as the air freshener that is penguin masks the smell. Yes, sir.
I saw him naked in a chair in that show. I don't think that's a good smell either, though.
That's probably quite hideous. Our good friend Melvin Deeply for $2. Once Upon a Time in Hollywood is excrementus. Yes, Melvin really doesn't like Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. Neither do I. So every time he sends that in, I like it.
Melvin has spent an obscene amount of money to let people know he doesn't like that movie.
he doesn't like the movie, I think.
It's like reverse marketing.
Yeah.
Hemorrhoid Hurts for an ass $5. It's like House of the Dragon. It's stupid. These two silly cows meet twice by sneaking into each other's headquarters. Why? LOL.
Oh, that's the Rhaenyra and Alicent scene I mentioned earlier when she goes into King's Landing. Yeah, I wasn't overly fond of that. Like A, travel time, and B, you've got the queen of the rival faction now. It's surrounded. If you want to end the war, and the substance of that conversation is they're neither of them particularly happy with the idea of a war, you've got the opponent's leader. What else can you do to end the war than hold the queen hostage? Problem solved. But I may have missed something. Again, I second monitored the entirety of season 2, so there's probably a load of stuff I missed out on.
Our good friend RRTNZ for a New Zealand $5. Serious question, Plutes, are you going to follow up Foundations of Dune soon? In my opinion, your best video. It's a triumph. I've recommended it many times.
Thank you. Yeah, and that will all be rolled into the main Dune video when that eventually comes out. But I have Rings of Power to get out of the way first, so that will be toward the end of the year.
And RRTNZ wanted to ask it so much, he sent in another super chat for $2.
He followed up to ask me about a follow-up to Foundations of Dune. Yes, video at the end of the year.
Night King 01 for $5. Thank you. It rides a fine line between believable and ridiculous. Sometimes it goes over, but I'm willing to let more go. I understand where you're coming from. Is this in reference to Penguin, perhaps?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah,
I mean, it's definitely not Agatha.
It's not Agatha, but it might be Megalopolis.
It could be.
No,
not Megalopolis. Megalopolis isn't believable. There's nothing believable about
that. For future reference, guys, if you want, if it's about a specific topic, if you put just like parentheses, put what it's about, I'll find it and get it in there for the topic. If you have the spare,
the character space,
character space, at least.
No, don't do that. Dark Hour's the producer. Make him work for his money.
How I don't know what.
Look at the timestamp. Figure it. Sam Lund for $4.99. The boomer urge to spend all of your money before you die on a completely wasteful project that benefits nothing but your ego. This is definitely in fucking reference to Megalopolis. Oh god. Big J for $10. Ever since Platoon admitted to never seeing Commando, that is a fucking banger of a movie, man. You got to watch that, Platoon. I felt that BSUP movies should be created to see his reaction to it, or at least do an uninspired hour. BSUP movies does exist. There's one episode, and we did Halloween 1978.
There's one episode a year of BSUP movies, and
it's around Halloween.
26 episodes a year of uninspired hour. I actually do have Platoon on the Commando on the schedule next year because it's the 40th anniversary, I think, and I will now try to drag Platoon onto that one.
Wait, when is that?
It's not till way late next. Don't worry. I sometimes if it's like a movie I really like, if I see that it has an important anniversary, I try to make that the date that I do it on. So, this is a
euthanasia for $2. Agreed. Foundations of Dune is incredible.
Thank you.
Ruddy for $2 fake bucks. Will Oswald do Sophia Penguin style? Quack, 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 quack.
Hope she's not into foot porn.
Yeah. Send me your feedback, Stokes. Tai Fung, a member for 19 months. God damn. Curious. I want to support your channels, but now I have YouTube Premium. So I guess you all get less ad plays. Does having YouTube Premium hurt your channel's incomes?
No one knows.
We all get a cut.
Yeah.
We
You
all
get
get
a
a cut
small
of
percentage.
YouTube Premium.
Yeah, it's not a big deal.
I get the sense it probably would, like, if everybody did it, it would probably be better for YouTube, but worse for channels, because like YouTube will take a small percent cut and give you that from everyone's YouTube Premium subscription, so that you get a guaranteed amount as the part of the partner program for people who pay that. But because ad revenue is based on ads which are effectively kind of what fucking words? What's the auctioned? That's the word I was looking for. That because they're auctioned to you and the price fluctuates. Obviously, like you can earn more or less depending on how many views your channel historically gets. So you can make more money from ads than you would be able to with a single flat rate from. I don't really know. It's weird. I get the sense that YouTube wants everyone to do it because they make more money from it and we don't. But who the hell knows?
Just join everybody's Patreon. There you go. Just bypass it.
Yeah, and some of us too just like use sponsors to offset that. Like I literally timestamp my sponsor spots because I'm like, here you go. You can click through it, and then I don't have to worry about any of that stuff.
I wasn't allowed to recently. The last couple I've had, they've specifically said, do not put in timestamps where the advert is.
Yeah.
Like, you're not going to find it. It's in a 5.5 hour video. You're not going to know where the ad is.
Yeah, and I started just telling people right in the videos too, of just like, hey, if you want to watch the ad, I'll try and make it as interesting as possible. And if not, like whatever. Like just
you want me to start writing your ads for you?
No.
You'll never get one again, that's for sure.
Yeah.
And that was the last super chat, unless one popped in while I wasn't paying attention.
Did not. So very cool. Well, we will go around and see what everyone's up to. Despot, thanks so much for coming on. Again, congrats on 100K. Fucking amazing accomplishment. And what are you up to next, sir?
Reaper just said, I'm out of here.
I'm going to release a video on Dread in a couple of days.
Oh, on Dread? Oh, shit.
Yeah. Great movie. I needed a palate cleanser after my Acolyte video, so I thought, and I really did. I needed to just fucking do something that I actually really enjoy editing and watching. So,
yeah, right on, man. Well, geez, you're the only guest we got now since Reaper.
Reaper was like, I ain't doing shit. I'm out of here.
I'm out of here. Well, if Reaper can hear us, thanks for coming on.
Nope, he's back.
Oh, cool. Okay. Reaper.
My computer died.
Okay.
That couldn't have been timed better. It was like, so what's everybody doing? See you the fuck later.
I'm leaving. That's what I'm doing. That Reaper, thanks for coming on again, man. Really appreciate it. And I know you're well on your way to the big 100K too.
I forgot about that.
Yes, sir. You are. I saw.
What am I on? I actually don't know.
Good. Oh, you're in the 80s somewhere.
I was gonna say last check that you were like 82.
82. Yeah. I'm surprised that high.
Yeah, I know. I watched your last video and just laughed my ass off in the first 5. I was like, this guy does not give a fuck at all. Like, you just swear in the first 5 seconds of the video.
I'm always demonetized.
I
do
figured.
not get any money. This is a hobby. I torture myself for no money.
God. What are you up to next? What video are you making next?
I'm waiting for episode 8 of Rings of Power to come out, and I'm just going to do a big hour-long, not like Little Platoon level. Fuck, I couldn't even do that. Like 9 hours.
Yeah.
How the fuck he does that, I have no idea. But I'm doing that, and then probably Agatha, since no one else is probably going to do it.
I'm doing it too, so I'm right there with you, man.
Me too.
Oh, so we're gonna suffer together.
Everybody here is the ones that are doing it. So.
Well, I started my channel because of the MCU and superhero movies, so I feel like it's my responsibility to watch all of that bullshit and talk about it. So,
did you watch Echo, Cynic? Did you watch Echo?
No, that was the one where I even like I did an MCU compilation. And I was like, I fucking can't, you guys. Like,
you didn't see it.
I didn't watch a single fucking second of that.
I did a fight scene breakdown for Echo.
So fucking boring.
If it tells you something about how pointless Agatha is, I managed to do like a 3-hour video on Echo, and I can't find anything to say about Agatha.
It had the best title you've ever had. Because it was called Echo, the most pointless video I've ever made.
Should have added so far at the end.
And well, Platoon, what are you up to next?
Whatever. So yeah, the last of the Rings of Power season 1 thingies will be out this weekend. So that's basically done already anyway. It just needs a bit of finishing off. Then yeah, probably be straight onto Rings of Power season 2, to be honest. And I don't know exactly what format I'm doing that in, but that should follow probably in a succession of shorter videos rather than long big one. But I might change my mind. Who the fuck knows? And if something else takes my fancy in the meantime, I'll try and carve some time for it. Maybe Megalopolis. Who knows?
You definitely should check it out at the very least. So, and
Yes, I am awesome.
Yes, he's.
You recognize my greatness. I'm not going to be humble.
I'm doing Agatha and Rings of Power since I was skipped.
You're going to be dead last, sir.
Yeah.
So, is that what you're doing next?
Yes, that should come out. The Agatha one should come out probably Wednesday. I had a really busy weekend, so I'm slightly behind on it. And then I'm switching back to Rings of Power for 7 and 8, and then finishing off Agatha, and then probably taking like a 2 or 3 week break because I don't know when the next show that I'm going to be tearing apart is. And I like doing the shows because it allows for a little bit more flexibility with the format.
Up next for me is Joker. I'm going to go see that tonight, and the review is going to be out real soon, one way or another, whether it's good or bad. I don't know how to feel about it. I'm not even going in. Just trying to keep an open mind, but we'll see what happens. But other than that, that is everyone, and that wraps up BSUP for today, and we will see you all next Monday. Thank you so much to the chat. Thank you so much to everyone who sent in super chats. Everyone who sticks it out and watches the show. We cannot do the show without you. We don't have our careers without you. So we thank every single person here. Really, really appreciate it, you guys. Was that my favorite part of the stream tonight is when Low Platoon said it's platooning time.
Platoon, can you actually say it's platooning time for this person? Dildo Shaggins is always in the chat. I think they deserve that.
It's platooning time.
Thank you, Dildo Shaggins. All right, guys, we will see you all next week. Bye.
Bye.